Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. You saw the title of this stream. Trump gives them both barrels. Them. They, thems. The Z-zems. The Z-zers. The him, hers. I barely made it to y'all on time tonight. Boom. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate y'all coming in by the skin of my teeth up in this piece. Thank you to all my rebels who show up and show out weekly. I appreciate y'all. No video. Thank you to my moderators when they finally show up to work. Ain't nobody on time in this mother today. I was only 2 minutes late today. I was 30 minutes late last stream. I was trying to be on time. All good now. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I appreciate y'all being here. How's y'all's week going so far? It's just getting crazy out there. Oh boy, the HNIC's in town. How you doing, Mr. McQuaid? I didn't see you snuck in the back door. He's got privileged entrances in here. I'm hoping my stream's got a good setting on it. Let me know if we got any issues. Any audio issues, you guys let me know. You got my email? Yes, sir. I got your email as well. Thank you. I don't know how long we can do interviews for this program. Is somewhat limited as far as that goes. I have 250 hours of interview time remaining. I haven't used any of it yet. Guardia said looks and sounds good. Thank you, sir. So we won't be doing a 24-hour stream like we do when we go to Sonia's channel. Holy hell, boy, we were psychos in there yesterday. Covering a lot of great issues, though. I love doing those roundtables, man. I told her we should start doing that on a weekly basis. I don't know what her schedule involves. Kat's in the building. What's up, Kat? I don't know exactly how busy she is all throughout the week, as we all are, you know. But it was a good conversation. She likes to bring a lot of different people in and have interview type, roundtable type interactions, you know. So it was a good situation. It was a good time. That was totally fun last night. Yeah, it sure was, man. I always have a good time in Sonia's chats, man. She's great. Some crazy stuff today I sent to her, though. I'm going to see if I can find it for you guys right quick before we actually get the whole show started. Yeah, I mean. Biden had passed a new executive order as well. I don't know if y'all saw any of that. So if I can pull this window up for you guys. So here's our first topic. The damage done to the credibility of AI by ChatGPT engineers, building in political bias, is irreparable. What's up, Zetawachi? How you doing, sir? Thank you for coming. So what they're meaning by this thing, there's a new app that they got out called ChatGPT. And basically you give it an assignment, write a poem about the positive attributes of Donald Trump. It'll give you a response. In this case, they rejected it. Poem request rejected. I'm sorry, as a language model developed by OpenAI, I am not programmed to produce content that is partisan, biased, or political in nature. I am to provide neutral, factual information and promote respectful conversation. Yeah, it really was truly good times. She asked me afterwards, was it worth it? And I said, heck yeah, man, it was worth it. We all had a great time in there. Oh, you just saw something about this on Paul J. Watson? Yeah, this new AI is going to be crazy. Guardius, did you see the show yesterday when I showed the photos of the AI models that OnlyFans is going to start producing here soon? It was crazy, dude. And then here's your positive poem that was actually accepted into the program. It says, write a poem about the positive attributes of Joe Biden. I mean, if we're going to be fair, let's try them both. And then it gives you the attributes, positive attributes of Biden poem. Then it says, Joe Biden, a leader with a heart so true, a man with empathy and kindness in view, with decades of experience, he stands tall, bringing hope to all, no matter great or small. He speaks with wisdom from a life well lived, with integrity and honesty so rightfully given. That's terrible already. That shit didn't even rhyme. In troubled times, he lends a steady hand, guiding us through crisis with clear command. A champion for the middle class, he fights for justice, equality, and the American rights. With empathy for the marginalized and meek, Joe Biden always seeks to make their voices heard so sleek. Yeah, then he'll cough on y'all. Stupid ass Biden. But you see now, this AI is obviously skewed one way or the other. Why wouldn't it give the poem for Trump? It did the same type of question there. But you get shafted on this answer. Sleek like a smooth brain. Yeah, he is. He was yelling out there today too. They called him in one of those things where he goes to the worker plant and shuts down the whole plant for everybody that they can't do any work now. Starts yelling at everybody. Oh man, the old man is at it again.
There's nothing we can't do. Nothing. When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time. There's nothing we can't do. Nothing. When the hell has America ever set a goal that it didn't reach? When has it ever? Name me a time. Name me a time. There's nothing we can't
Calm
do.
down, Papa.
Nothing.
Yelling in my damn ear. What kind of weirdo?
What the hell is even that?
What the hell, Joe? Why are you yelling in my damn ear, fool? And everybody's just standing around like, dude, what is he rambling on about? Everybody's got their work vest on. They're shutting this tunnel project down. They're at the Hudson Tunnel Project. Everybody should be going on lunch right now, but they got them standing around watching this idiot talking some mess. Smooth brain dum-dum. The font says, bring me some damn ice cream. Yeah, he's out there yelling like he's all irritable that he ain't had his sweets in yet. But y'all saw the title of the stream. Let's hear what the real president has to say. He's got both barrels for them.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures.
Watch out, yeet for teats. Those yeety teety doctors out there. You about to get your ass held up in court when these people come back and sue your ass for the wrongs you've done to them.
Procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects.
Oops. Sorry about that. I'll watch it again. It was that good.
Children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
Boom. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? He came out and gave those fools both barrels on that shit. Oh, he's coming after all you fools. He's making a list and checking it twice. Oh, man. I was so excited when I saw that yesterday. I dropped that for Sonya's show. Oh, boy. They were like, oh, my God, I can't believe that. I say, man, you better watch them now. They're going to get upset. And if you go look for that, you can't find it. They don't want to promote that at all. But I'm going to post that on my channel, on all my channels, on all my stuff, so his message can get out there. At least he's saying it what we all want to say out loud. You know what I mean? Some of them won't even say it. I know where DeSantis is on all that shit, but this is what we've been waiting for to hear right here. Guardia says, damn, if Big Don comes back, I will have to give up my lawnmower identity. Anthony said, love it. Yeah, man, that's what we want to hear right there. That's what we want to hear. Woohoo. For sure. Guardius and Anthony are watching on Rumble as well. Thank you, guys. I'm going to try to keep up with that chat on that side as well. I hadn't got as fluid with it yet as Salty is, so I'll need to set up a little chat window for everybody that can see over here. And I can kind of moderate it at the same time. But yeah, that's what I want to hear, man. I want a president that's going to go out there and tell these lunatics that they're being lunatics and we ain't going to take it anymore. Sonia is in the house. Thank you for coming. You just missed your boy's speech, but you saw it last night. We talked about Trump giving his rendition of "Get the hell out of my way." He's coming after these fools, and I'm there for it. I can't wait. I cannot wait. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I should be live over on the Twitter sphere as well. I haven't checked that stream yet, but I'm sure it's pumping just fine over there. I hadn't had any issues over there yet. I just showed them the ChatGPT article there. That's getting out of control. And what they're using that for, guys, is, like I said, to write articles. And some of the stream folks that I follow, too, they're using it to, like, I guess, write a summary for whatever their topic is of their videos. And it's filling out the description for them. It's giving them keywords for them. All kinds of stuff, man. But you saw how that Joe Biden poem turned out. It was trash, so... And those photos of the OnlyFans girls. They had some areas that were looking good, but they had like 9 fingers and shit, so... What are they going to do with all them fingers? Wrong button. Sorry about that. Make sure you guys call in if you feel like you want to sound off on anything that we're going on about tonight. Or you can just talk about what you want to talk about. We're down for it down here. This channel is for you and for your voice to be heard. So if you want to be heard, holla at me at the number right there. I want to keep that window right there. Blammo. All right, here we go. So we saw what the current president's got to say. Let's see what the current vice president's got to say.
Which brings me to May 30th, 2020. Bob and Doug returned to the Kennedy Space Center. They suited up, they waved to their families, and they rode an elevator up nearly 20 stories. They strapped in to their seats and waited as the tanks beneath them filled with tens of thousands of gallons of fuel. And then they launched. Yeah, they did. Which brings me to May 30th, 2020. Bob and Doug returned to the Kennedy Space Center. They suited up, they waved to their families, and they rode an elevator up nearly 20 stories. They strapped in to their seats and waited as the tanks beneath them...
Shut up, bitch. I can't stand her. Oh, Kamala Harris with her dumbass self. Hi, mama. Bam. Heather cam. There's Heather on the Heather cam. Hi, mama. What you doing, sweet thing? Heather's crashing the party already. She said, I'm tired of Kamala Harris. Y'all need to come look at me. I'm a baby. Here, they want to see you. Where are you going? Say hi, Mama. Say hi. She's so pretty. Such a good girl. This chat's so funny. Y'all crack me up, man. Bam. That she hasn't been to Europe. Yeah. Sonia said, I made a poem inspired by the AI stupidity. Oh, did you post it on your Instagram? That's funny. Yeah, anything would be better than their rendition of dumbness. I think she's a Skynet creation. I think they'd have something more intelligent than that. God dang, is that the best you can do? You have unlimited technology, and that's the best you can do? Okay. Take off, Woza. Yeah. Anthony says, oh, shoot, no, Sonia says, Anthony, I ordered a free copy from the Hillsdale College, I think. The Pocket Constitution. Anthony says everyone should order a pocket version of the Constitution from FreedomWorks Foundation. You guys give me 1 second here. And I'm back. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, how's your appeal going over there, Sonia? Did they give you a response back? Oh, you did it just for laughs. Okay, fine. Yeah, Kamala heals up Harris. I can't stand this fool. Can't stand her. Check this video out, though. Should have got worse, in my opinion. These kids out here doing dumb shit for TikTok and for clicks and whatnot. No sound on the video? Oh my God. Well, let's do that again. See, there is a glitch in this thing. I need to tell these fools about that. Thank you for that, Guardius. When I change that scene sometimes, it mutes that microphone, man, and I didn't do that. Anyway, we'll do it again. We'll fucking do it live. So the 12-year-old TikTok prankster throws a dead snake.
12-year-old Alex Anderson in Dix Hills after a disagreement about taking cell phone.
12-year-old TikTok prankster throws a dead snake on a woman's car and gets eliminated by her husband. Did the husband go too far? Let's watch the video. So he's videotaping right there, and I guess he threw it on her car or whatever, and then here the husband comes, charging at him like a mad bull.
This is what happened to 12-year-old Alex Anderson in Dix Hills after a disagreement about taking cell phone video. That's when he says this man, 39-year-old William Conti, tackled him and threw his cell phone, leaving it in pieces.
They took that cell phone and smashed that mother. He took that shit and said, bam! Smashed it like the hammer of Thor.
Shortly following the incident.
Yeah, you caught that too, didn't you? Eliminated. But he didn't kill the kid, obviously. He didn't delete the kid. He just pushed him down. Probably scratched his knee. He eliminated the hell out of that cell phone, though. Deleted. So here's the full story. We're going to check it out. They're still saying eliminates. I don't know why. Man eliminates 12-year-old kid for throwing a dead snake on his wife. I don't know why they said eliminates. But yeah, you see how they always talk about language manipulation. Yep. Should have them money symbols kicked for sure. All fun and games to your faithful. Hey, that's a good shirt, man. I'm gonna write that one down, Fonz. If you guys got good ideas for shirts, I'm gonna make some because it's not like I have any free time to do anything else, but I'm gonna try. All fun and games. To you FAFO. And then FAFO, that's getting to be a censored term even out there now too. Oh, daddy, my pussy hurts. Yeah, he ran like a fool. Look at that look on his face. He was already scooting like, oh, hell. Yeah, I can't stand pranks either. They're so dumb. But you find out real quick, the only thing I do like about these pranks is when somebody goes up in their ass about it. A man's shocking attack on a 12-year-old boy on Long Island was captured on cell phone video and led to the man's arrest. But some neighbors say they sympathize with the man. Look at him standing over him. Look at that look on his face. Ah! Oh my God. And there's your busted ass cell phone. R.I.P. that piece of crap. Explain that to your parents. You know what I mean? You're gonna come home and go, Mom, Dad.
Mom, Dad, this guy broke my cell phone and whipped my ass.
And you're gonna be like, what did he do that for, son? That's crazy. I don't
know. I don't even know. We weren't doing anything wrong whatsoever.
Oh, really? That's crazy. Why would somebody just do that? Were they total psychos? I bet they were Trump supporters.
Yeah, I think they were Trump supporters. Because he whipped my ass with a quickness.
Yep, now you done fucked up. You done fucked up now, boy. Everybody supports the husband. I support him. The boy Alex Anderson tells News 4 New York he was on his bicycle with 3 friends in Dix Hills Tuesday when a woman in a car began taking cell phone video of them. Oh, okay. Anderson responded by doing the same to the woman, taking photos of her and the car's license plate, following his dad's instructions in a case like that. So his daddy said,
if anybody's outside taking video of you, you take your cell phone and you videotape them and get their license so we can prosecute those raggedy-ass Trump supporters.
So he got it from his daddy, obviously. That's when the woman's husband apparently saw the boy recording his wife, and he charged him, throwing him to the ground and smashing the boy's cell phone. After it happened,
after it happened, I was scared and worried what he was going to do next.
Said Anderson. Yeah, you should be scared, you dumb little asshole. William Conte was arrested on charges of criminal mischief and harassment. Attorney information for the man wasn't immediately available, and no one answered the door at his home on Thursday. Anderson's father, Christian Anderson, that name sounds familiar. Wasn't there an actor or a character called Christian Anderson? Tell me about that in the comments. Christian Anderson called Conti a coward, but some neighbors defended Conti, saying aggressive kids on bikes have been a big problem in the neighborhood for weeks. Oh, okay, so they've been going out there showing out, and Daddy probably, yeah, their daddy finally caught him out there doing dumb stuff. So you get what you came for, sir. There's video of these kids running around with their bikes, stopping the cars, getting in front of cars, where they almost basically force you to hit them, said a neighbor, Michael Shane, who lives across the street from where the confrontation happened. And here's the father right here. Shout out to that hero. If his own daddy would have whipped his ass, then none of this ever would have happened. He added that before the video, the kids were taunting the woman in the car and trying to toss a dead snake in with her 2 children. These kids are not innocent by any means. They started it, and unfortunately, the father went to protect his wife and 2 small kids, said Shane. And here's the shirt. Somebody has already put an ad on this damn thing of the fuck around and find out shirt, or they just placed one on there. The longer you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And these points are going to intersect at some point, and the more that you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. So that little kid was probably about here. And actually, he was probably about here because he ain't really found out a whole lot yet. But hopefully we can cut it off here before he gets up here, or even here when he finds out some real shit. Let me hit these comments right quick. Shane, come back, Shane. Yeah. Yep, lying little brat. They always lie. And that's what needs to happen. Like, get their parents involved and find out what really happened. Oh, the censor don't do nothing? Yeah, it don't do nothing. I'm not very good at it. Yeah, the dead snake was handy. I don't know. You know how kids are. They play around the neighborhood doing dumb stuff. You know where the dead snake is in the neighborhood. Oh, the writer was Christian Anderson. Okay. Thank you, Fonz. Hans Christian. Hans. Is it Hans Christian Anderson? The woke left do not think of consequence. I bet he's thinking about it now. They think about how they can sue this father, I'm sure. Devin. Yeah, that is a great shirt. That is a good shirt. You checked in on Rumble first? Hey, I appreciate you. I'm over there. I'm monitoring both of them. Hello. We hadn't built our audience all the way over there yet, but we're getting there. Just about every day I'll get notifications. All throughout last broadcast, I was getting them every single time they were coming through. So we were getting subscribers over there as we were having the show. So I'm excited about that. Devin, did you see Trump's video, honey? I'll go back and play that because I really wanted you to see that. You saw the title of the stream. It was so damn good. I'll watch it again. I don't care. And there's the dad right there chasing the little bastard. But Christian Anderson said his son didn't do anything to warrant an attack.
They didn't do anything vicious. Even if they throw a rock at a car, it doesn't justify beating up a child. It just doesn't.
Well, we'll come whip your ass then, sir. That's the way we used to do stuff back in the day. Like if you had things going on in the neighborhood and the parents didn't take care of it, the parents would get called out in the street and you would get your ass whipped. I'm not quick story time. Let me finish this and we'll do story time. Conte's family and his neighbors claimed the kids were trying to throw a dead snake in her car as they'd done to other people in the area. I told you. See, so these little vegetarian. So these little fools knew where that little dead snake was and were taunting other people in the neighborhood. That's really what it was. That's exactly what it was. Little assholes. But you're going to get what's coming to you, that's for sure. That's for damn sure. So since Devin missed this, we're going to play it again for Devin. It's a good message. We can all hear it again. Play it, Mr. President.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and schools that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
What do you think about that? What do I think about that, Mr. Devin? He came out and gave both them fools both barrels on that shit. Them. Oh boy. If he wasn't a target before, he definitely is now. Oh yeah, Devin, I did see that too. Anthony, were you talking about like letting the high pitched voice get routed through to the video and let that be Trump's voice? I think I'm understanding you correctly if you're saying that. Yeah, I'm glad he called it madness too. At the very beginning, he's right there. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think there is a way to do that, routing through this, because I wanted to do
this voice right here in case somebody called in and wanted to disguise their voice.
For whatever reason, I have no idea. But that should be a feature on this thing. I just haven't quite figured it out yet. So I will try to make a video and do that for you, sir. I'll make a note of it right now. I do need to get a notepad, like Sonia said too. Sadawachi says, wasn't transing going on in the 30s though, in Europe, specifically Germany, and probably Rome too before it fell? I'd probably say that would be a safe assumption. I'm not a historian and I didn't live in those times, but their society fell for some reason. I couldn't say what it would be for, though. Check this one out. Dallas Zoo suspects 2 monkeys were stolen.
Something strange is happening at the Dallas Zoo. Of course, we told you about a leopard that escaped its habitat. Then there was a breach where the monkeys are kept. Then a vulture mysteriously died. Now the zoo tweeted someone stole 2 emperor tamarin monkeys. The tweet reads, it was...
Dude, what the hell is going on at the Dallas Zoo? Right there, just in the opening, he didn't name like 5 damn animals that something bad happened to them. Either they're gone, stolen, or took somebody's lunch. What the hell?
Clear the habitat had been intentionally compromised and the monkeys were stolen. Tim Harrison's with us, a former police officer, exotic pet specialist. Hey, Tim, you know, when this first happened, we thought it was some kind of pink-haired leftist who was in there trying to set all the animals free. I'm wondering now if they're not trying to steal these monkeys to sell them. They've got to be pretty valuable, huh?
Yes, they're very valuable. Actually, in the pet trade, they're called pocket monkeys. You can see how they could get in there and take them out and put them into their coat and walk right out and nobody even know it.
Pocket monkeys. You put a damn monkey in your pocket and take it home with you.
What would one of these monkeys be worth?
They could be everything from $8,000 to $20,000. It depends on which one. These are called emperor tamarins, so they're very expensive in the pet trade. But they are in the...
That, what he was talking about, those monkeys being expensive, that just reminded me of that video, Sonia, that you sent me of Walter Williams. And he was talking about those damn cab medallions. $400,000 for a cab medallion? $700,000 for a cab medallion? That's absolutely insane. I know, totally off the subject of stolen monkeys at the damn zoo, but when he talked about that expense on that drove me crazy. I was like, what in the hell? Sonia says, remember when some lab monkeys escaped during some transportation? That was right before that, what they're calling now the Mpox, but they said those two things were totally unrelated. You know what? I should make a little unrelated news flyover. You know what I mean? Like one of these right here. Yeah, just something like that. And then I could put my little window right there. Boom. And now we're going to play the news.
Marmoset family. They're small monkeys. People love them. They want to get them. I used to rate auctions over the years as law enforcement and also through my organization. And they always had tamarin monkeys or tamarin and emperor tamarins out for sale. And they were always going like hotcakes. As soon as they brought them out, they auctioned them off fast.
All right, so you've been through this a lot, not your first rodeo. How is it that the Dallas police can't catch who's ever doing this?
You know, it's...
Dude, actually, that was a good movie. I think it was called Project X with Matthew Broderick back in the day, if I remember right. That was a damn good movie, though. He was teaching them sign language and stuff. It was crazy. Get it together, Twitter. Trying to run a news show over here. Rebel from the comfy, cozy, warm news desk. Back to you. Insert field reporter freezing freezing that satchel off out there. Heck yeah. Zetawachi says they were testing chimps to see how far a radiated pilot could fly before death. I think so. Yeah, that was a good movie, man. And that was before Planet of the Apes and all that stuff. They used real monkeys in that movie. And, you know, Matthew Broderick can act his ass off, so he was doing good. I can't remember who the female character was in the movie. I don't remember. Boom, boom. Yeah, so I should need to do a little unrelated news segment where that comes up. Says boom, unrelated news. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so they stealing damn monkeys out there at the zoo. Nothing related to what we saw on the news, though. Let's go with the traffic report. Looks like we got some kind of blockage on the I-95. Let's see what happens here. I'm not sure what they're blocking the road for, but it'd be a shame if somebody just went forward. Oh, no. Whoopsie. Oh, sorry about that. Whoopsie. I'm not saying you should go forward on the highway, but you got to maintain speeds. And this right here was we saw Trump doing his speech about all that madness. So now here's Biden's, I guess, his counter to it, or maybe Trump released his statement because of this one. But there's a new executive order on preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of sex and gender, supposedly. So-called. Executive order on preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender, identity, or sexual orientation. By the authority vested in dum-dum, by the Constitution and laws of the United States, it is hereby ordered as follows. And it just goes, Section 1 policy, every person should be treated with respect and dignity and should be able to live without fear no matter who or whom they love. I think that's part of it right there. Whom they love, and then you see the very next word right there is conveniently put really close to that for unrelated reasons, in my opinion. Totally unrelated. And remember, you guys can call in at any time during the show. The number should be scrolling at the top, and you're going to get those little overlays, the 615-348-5482. 615-348-5482. Call in and holler at me. Tell me what you think about these policies they're trying to put forth out here for us, for them children. Anthony, you talking about that traffic blockage is unconstitutional to protest on roads or infrastructure. Yeah, they need to get the hell out of the way. If there are people behind them, there's people that need medical care, medical emergencies, whatever, they need to get the hell out of the way. What's up, alien? Get in the car and run them over. I need to do that too. Dang, well, I have so many phone overlays I want to do. Adventures in Babysitting. Have you guys ever seen that movie? When that little girl is dressed up like Thor and dude wouldn't get out of the way, she said, get in the car and run him over. I'm going to throw that in there as an overlay. Yep. Hit the gas, or move your ass. So to watch you say, yo, do you guys think about the Chinese spy balloon? It might be a weather-related topic. I hadn't heard about that. Inform me, sir, when you call in. Learn, they just redefined that word too? Alien says, I'll call in a little bit. That's cool. I appreciate you calling in when at your convenience, sir. Always ready to talk to you guys. Been looking up stuff about Vikings in England. Dude, my family is Welsh. Boomhauer looked up the lineage of our family, and they were Vikings and shit from Wales. Back in the day, they came over on the Mayflower, son. Anyway, back to Joe Biden's sick-ass shit. Children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Adults should be able to earn a living and pursue a vocation knowing that they would not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of whom they go home to or because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. People should be able to access health care and secure a roof over their heads without being subjected to sex discrimination. All persons should receive equal treatment under the law, no matter their gender identity or sexual orientation. These principles are reflected in the Constitution, which promises equal protection of the laws. These principles are also enshrined in our nation's anti-discrimination laws, blah, blah, blah. Well, why do you got to make these new executive orders if they're already there? Discrimination on the basis of gender, sexual orientation. So this is when they're going to start putting pedestrians as a class now. And then they're going to be a protected class, and you're not going to say nothing when they are attracted to your youngins. They're maps. They're minor attracted people. You can't get mad at them for who they love and who they want to go home to. You understand me? Within 100 days of this order, the head of each agency shall develop, in consultation with the Attorney General, as appropriate, a plan to carry out actions that the agency has identified pursuant to subsections B and C of this section as appropriate and consistent with applicable law. Then they go through all the details of it. Why does a president have to sign an executive order about this? Isn't this already a thing? Yeah. So you can call me crazy if you want to, but I believe that's where they're going with it. They're going to try to push that as a whole new orientation. And I'll be damned. I don't know where y'all from or what y'all do, but I'll be damned. I'll be goddamn. Sonia just sent me a story here. Let's jump onto this one here. I hope this is safe for network broadcasting. Young women forced to share changing room with a man. When they raised concerns, they were told to seek counseling and educate themselves. Are you serious? The man's feelings trumped their safety. Thank you, Riley Gaines, for speaking out. This lunacy must end. So let's listen to this young lady, what she has to say.
No one has asked us how we felt. We exist to validate a male's identity. But the Ivy League, Leah Thomas's teammates, actually, when they were concerned about the locker room situation and they sent an email to the Ivy League and the NCAA, their response was, here are some counseling resources you should seek if you feel comfortable seeing male genitalia in your locker room. And then they were referred to the LGBTQ Education Center to educate themselves on the oppression that these athletes are dealing with. So no one within the NCAA is willing to acknowledge us, our feelings, our safety, our privacy. I've really tried. I feel like it's really only happened like the past couple weeks where I like get emotional talking about like the locker room scene, because it is just so wild that you can turn around and see a 6'4" biological man pull his pants down watching you undress, and no one is willing to stick up for you.
Wow. Dude, that's crazy as hell. I don't care where you fall on this issue, but that's crazy as hell. These women out here are being straight up harassed by these dudes, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. It's up to the women to do what this young lady's doing right here and say something, make videos about it, protest these people, pull your accounts from these businesses that support this shit. You need to start speaking with your dollar, speaking with your voice. Tell these people you're done with this, because it's going to get out of hand. Zeta Wachi said, when I was a kid, the president just wanted to exercise more, wanted us to exercise more. There was a big campaign. Can't recall the name of the program, though. That was through the this was the late 80s and early 90s. Would that be Jump Rope for Heart? Because I know that we had that in our school back then, and all of the kids got down on that shit. Especially the black girls. They like doing the double dutch and all that shit. You know, it was always fun to watch them do double dutch. They'd have rhymes, and I'm like, damn, I'd like to jump in that bitch, but I know I'd fall and bust my ass. But they jump in and out of the ropes and shit doing it, and whoever could do the fastest, whoever could do the most, they'd have little competitions for everybody. And it was keeping kids healthy. We didn't have fat ass kids back then in our schools. The occasional one, you know what I mean, where the parents obviously didn't care about them, but usually that wasn't the case. You kick him in a satchel. Yeah, I would too, with a high heel. Put that high heel right in that satchel. Rip that satchel open. And you'll think twice about it. Want to say Kid Fit, but Jump Rope for Heart was huge too. Yeah, so you had that too. That was huge in our school. Like I was telling Sonia,
no one has asked us how we felt.
Nancy Reagan had that program, Just Say No, where it was all about just saying no to drugs. You didn't have to. If they told you you needed to take something, no, you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to play by everybody's games. You don't have to do what they say just because you feel peer pressure. I never felt that. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. When I was in elementary school, we had field day, and we had tug of war. and everybody wanted, they're picking teams and all this and that. And I didn't fit in with any of the other kids. And my parents didn't show up for the field day. And I just felt kind of out of it. I didn't feel like getting into the competition of things at that particular time. And they were upset. I actually got cussed out the very first time I ever got called a bitch by a female. It was a girl that I thought was my friend in elementary school. And she's like, you don't want to pull the rope for us. You're a little bitch. I'm like, I really don't want to pull the rope for you now. So I'm going to go sit right down over here. And they're going to use the same amount of people. If you got 10 and they got 10, they're not going to give you 15 on 3. You know what I mean? But I knew that from an early age, like people are your friend when they need you to do something for them and they want you to do something. Hey, come be part of our group and do something with us. But if you say, no, I'm not really down for it right now, thanks. Immediately you're a piece of shit because you don't want to be in their group. I found out right then, okay, I'm not a follower. I'm never going to be a follower. I just don't fit in with some of you people, I guess. Not you guys. I love y'all. I love you guys. Thank you, my rebels. Ain't nothing but a bunch of rebels in this room right now. I can't tell y'all nothing. Trying to make you take something, you won't take it. Trying to put something on your face, you won't put your muzzle on your face. Ain't nobody gonna be able to tell y'all nothing. And I'm here for it. I definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you to those mods too. I appreciate y'all, my moderators. Anthony McQuaid, Zato Watchies, Kane Sword, Cat F, and Sonia's Scrapbook. Thank you guys so much. I think I got everybody on that list. Thank you for everybody being here tonight too. Yep, everyone has a little bit of that in them. Yeah, a little bit of rebellious in them. That's what makes us Americans, I think. And they're trying to crush that rebellious spirit in Americans. They just want you to submit. Why don't you just submit? Just do what we say. Put your head down and do what we say. I'm all about obeying the laws and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mandated things. Used to being a mod. I appreciate you, sir. Now we see if we can get you paid doing it, then you can have a whole nother career in your life. Yep, Zato Watcher, he is too. Zato Watcher says spot on. Yes, sir. Like-minded folks. There's a guy that I was telling Sonia about that does the stream tutorials and stuff. His name is Paul, the moderator. He actually gets paid for doing his moderations on these channels. I'm not sure how he does that. I'm sure the channels are moderated. Like when you got something as big as ABL or bigger, you want to have somebody moderate your shit. But there's so many great people like yourself out there, all you guys, that will moderate just out of the kindness of your own heart. And man, I know time is money. Money is valuable. Time is valuable. So, I appreciate y'all being here. For damn show. Where am I going here? I'm trying to find this story. What's going on here?
This is consistently what they do with almost everything. What Ron DeSantis does not want in Florida is what the parents of America do not want in classrooms, which is indoctrination rather than education. Of course, in Florida and in every other state in the United States, you will get, if you go to a public school, something roughly approximate to an honest assessment of history, including teaching about slavery and teaching about the civil rights movement, etc. What they don't want is you going into a class, a high school kid going into an AP class where they're going to get college credit and learning about gender queer theory as it relates to African American studies. And do you think that if they were to teach about BLM, Black Lives Matter, in that they would learn about the giant probably $100 or $200 million grift that the leaders of Black Lives Matter did? Or would they learn only that it was this wonderful social justice movement? What you want to be taught in America is about equality, the founding documents which guaranteed us equality. We now have a socialist movement that is all about equity. That's completely antithetical to what the founding of America was all about. That's what DeSantis is turning us to. And I assure you, the guy is not racist or any of the other buzzwords that they can come up with over at The View.
Yeah, I mean, this course is still
He called out The View on that. That was funny.
exists. It's going to be taught in 60 schools. It may expand to more than 60 schools.
Dude, they're just teaching racism. Why don't they just let that shit die? They keep resurrecting it over and over again. When I was watching that Walter Williams show earlier that Sonia sent to me, I was like, damn, man, he is speaking my language over here. He's telling it exactly how it is. He had a good line in there, too. I need to go back and find that. You did double dutch? Yeah, that was fun doing the double dutch. I couldn't get in there, though. And I didn't want to try because you got the white boy kind of jump over there and do the stuff that they were doing. And if you don't do it right, they will kick your ass out of there and clown you forever. But if you can impress them and do it right, you'll be one of the gang. You know what I mean? They don't care. They'll accept you. Let me see here. Oh, earlier I was going to tell you guys story time about the kid getting his ass handed to him by the parent. My mom actually came to the school and whipped this lady's behind out in front of everybody as we were trying to get onto the bus and stuff. They were like, "Oh my God, dude, is that your mama?" I'm like, yeah, it sure is. Zoo Java, what's going on, sir? How you doing? He is in the house. Yeah, money would be cool. I made $5 over there on Rumble. You can super chat on Rumble over there. I need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to even start monetization over here. But over there, it's already going. So if you wanted to super chat over there, you can already do it. Plus, there's a PayPal link in the on the header page there. There's a Skype link in case you want to call in, but if you want to call in normal way, like the old school, there's the number right there if you want to call in and holler. That is the number if you want to call in. But we're going to get back to this news here. Did you guys see this one? This Austin woman accused of killing her friend and stealing her baby makes her first court appearance. These stories always drive me wild, man, because it's always their friend.
Broussard was found. Marks right now the 1 year since Austin mom Heidi Broussard was found dead inside the trunk of a car outside of a suburban Houston home. She had been missing for weeks. Broussard's daughter, Margot Carey, who was a month old at the time, was found alive inside the home. Megan Firamuska, the person described as best friend to Broussard, is currently awaiting trial after being charged with capital murder, tampering with the corpse, and 2 counts of kidnapping following her arrest in January. In an arrest affidavit, authorities allege that Firamuska acted as if the baby was her own to her boyfriend following that disappearance. The hearing, though, is scheduled for January 20th. That court date could be delayed due to...
That was crazy, man. Yeah, so that was 1 year ago, and everybody thought the way that the boyfriend was acting at the time. Yeah, it looked like she also stole some meals, big fat ass. Yeah. So many greedy people in the world. Zeta Wachi had a great comment on modding. Let me go back. Boom. Zeta Wachi says modding can be a drag sometimes for me because it's hard for me anyway to keep monitor chat for cursing, etc., and keep up with the topic being discussed. So I lean on Anthony McQuaid a lot because he's the man. That's why. Yeah, and I appreciate you guys doing all that work because I know how it is. You get caught up in the chat, in the conversation. You miss some of the show. Sometimes you got to go back and watch the show to get the actual content. But I try to keep it exciting for you guys so you'll pay attention to me.
Pay attention to me. Look at me.
Man, did you guys see AOC acting dumb as hell? I know y'all saw ABL's video. She losing her damn mind. People are memeing her and shit now. People are memeing her. She was acting a fool. They were up there crying, fake crying tears about them getting kicked off their committees and stuff. I mean, hey, you had plenty of time to do your job. You don't do your job, you're gone. If you don't do your job, you're gone. Is this what you were talking about right here? Is this it? Photo, Chinese spy balloon over Montana, United States. Who spotted this first? Who spotted this thing? I wonder. This Chinese space balloon. Somebody zoomed all the way in on that shit too. It looks like a damn satellite. So yeah, I don't see why they got cameras trying to spy on us when they're in every part of our computer systems, our TV, anything and everything. They're in the presidency right now. This thing right here just might as well have a big old Biden symbol on it. CCP bought Biden. Oh Lord, I don't want to even hear what these fat pigs have to say. I don't justify them. Here's what I was talking about.
Where are the free speech warriors today? The hypocrisy is obvious to the American people. You are showing who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Congressman Omar,
the gentlewoman's time has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong
The
in
gentlewoman
that
is
committee.
no longer recognized, and the gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes and also elevated her.
Jewish space lasers? What the hell is she talking about?
To some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single
Time has
apology
expired.
when my life was threatened. Thank you.
My colleagues, I stand before you as a proud Jew. And my colleagues, I stand before you as a proud Jew. And a proud friend and colleague of Ilhan Omar. I don't need any of you to defend me against anti-Semitism. My friend Ilhan Omar, we have worked together to the values that I treasure as an American Jew and that she treasures. My colleagues, I stand before
Man, they don't went off the damn deep end out there. They can't stand it. It's going wild, dude. Did she mention Trump? I'm not sure if she mentioned Trump or not. I need to go back and pull that whole clip of all that C-SPAN stuff. I was keeping on top of it, but I've been a little bit lax here lately. When you're doing a 24-hour party stream in Sonya's place, it gets hard to get out. But they were unhinged in there.
The free speech warriors today. The hypocrisy is obvious to the American people. You are showing who you all are.
Pay attention to her big ass head back here, bobbing up and down like a big old. Yeah, they all need pacifiers. She was out there trying to get them crocodile tears going, crying like a little damn baby. And she's telling her, dude, your time's up, time's up. And she's telling them she's not recognized, so they're not even entering that into the record, all that whining and crying she's doing.
Who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Congressman Omar, I am so sorry,
time has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber.
Through those chambers.
It's failing us today. Through these chambers.
Shut up.
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized, and the gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
Don't tell me that this is about an
As she's getting into it on this particular session, she's out there throwing her hand out, doing her thing. ABO did a fun thing about it. She's going to church right now. She's taking everybody to church.
nation of anti-Semitic remarks.
And then he's back here clapping too, giving it up. Look at Cory Booker's face right here. They're so funny to me.
When you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America.
Now they're talking about targeting a women of color, and then homeboy claps. Yeah, we're all the hell out of here.
Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
She had to bang the gavel on her too, like, shut up, lady. That is it. It is over. Your time is expired. My patience is expired. Yeah, I saw that one. They're trying to say that CRT is not in schools, but first of all, it's Throwback Thursday. Let's review and throw down our grammar skills. What kind of writing is this? The T's are upside down. It's written like children wrote it, but it's obviously typed. Punctuating direct quotations. It's hard for a person that knows how to read to even read that. But they say which sentence below uses quotations correctly. And let me get out of the way so we can read this. ML asked his mom, why do white people treat colored people so mean? B, ML asked his mom, why do white people treat colored people so mean? What? So they're giving you different ways to pronunciate it with the quotations properly, but the message here is the same. Why do white people treat colored people so mean? I can give you a reason for that, but everybody will get all up in their damn feelings about it. Because you're a bunch of damn crybabies. And white people don't treat colored people mean. And the colored people is another racist term right there too. We're all just people. They're the ones separating people into categories by doing this right here. By doing this one right here and doing this one right here. What they should be asking, why do we teach indoctrination to our children in schools and keep perpetuating racism? But I don't know. That's just my opinion. They're trying to say that that's CRT is not being taught in schools, but there it is right there. You just saw it. You just saw it. And that's some of the most mundane ones I've seen. You know what I mean? I've seen ones that are way worse. Dude, let me get out of that. Let me see these comments. If you guys have any comments for me, make sure you put that Q colon in the chat so I can search for it in case you want to hit me directly with anything. I would appreciate it. Yeah, that is a funny looking question mark. That whole thing with the language there, the way that thing was spelled, the way it was looked, it looks crazy as hell to me. Yeah, get your coffee, Anthony. Yes, sir. Find you a quiet place. Colored term my grandpa would use. We used to have a colored fella for a cook. Yeah, actually, I'm going to play something quick for you guys. Sort of impromptu while we're on this subject. Because I got a... I watched a video today that was pretty awesome. Fair use on this right here.
The welfare state has done to black Americans what slavery could not have done, Jim Crow and the harshest racism could not have done, namely to destroy the black family.
Yep. This is Walter Williams. This is a video called Suffer No Fools. It's kind of about his life and how he came up not having nothing and went to school and got educated in economics, and it changed his whole point of view. He went to the military. And he was a rebel too, man. When segregation was really going on, like he went through the stuff that these people pretend that they go through every day.
He received as a young man. Learn to come early and stay late. And always be ready when the opportunity train comes along.
You hear that? When the opportunity train comes along, you jump on that piece. And he called into the Larry Elder show and stuff.
Or murder is immoral because it violates private property. And so if you start with the idea of exchange is the transfer of property rights.
Teaching is a passion for Walter Williams. He continues to believe the young people in his classroom are America's best hope for the future.
I've learned a lot from Dr. Williams in that you can tell that he approaches the ideas of liberty and private property and free markets from a moral perspective. And for me, that is incredibly important.
The reason why slavery is immoral or rape or murder is immoral because it violates private property. And so if you start...
Fair use on this too, by the way. YouTube, get off my balls.
Get up off my sack.
With the idea of self-ownership, then you can say, well, what is moral and what is immoral? The ideas that you hear me talk about, that people hear me discussing when I'm on the radio or in my column, those.
You can't even say woman of color. Yeah, going back to that lesson, I guess you would call it, that the kids were learning on that thing. They said him on there. I'm like, right there, you're out of sorts. If you don't follow your own rhetoric, you're out of there. But they're trying to teach them young and gradually ease them into it, I guess. State of Watchy says, my grandpa bragged about that guy's cooking, though. McNeil Island was a federal penitentiary in Washington State to clarify things. Try to get to the point where he was making a quote in here that I wanted him to play. He called into the Larry Elder Show.
Ask the question, in what cities in our country do black people receive the worst education, are most insecure in their lives, live under rotten conditions? They are the very cities where a black is the mayor, the chief of police, is the superintendent of schools. And I'm not saying that there's a causal relationship between that, but I'm saying that there's not much salvation to be achieved through the political arena.
My guest is Professor Walter Williams. He is an economics professor, teaches at George Mason University.
If I say to the federal government, I will pay my share of...
See, that was a black man telling you that. And they experienced real segregation, racism, where you had different places that didn't allow black people. And his first job was at the, what do they call those things?
Horn and Hardart was a very, very famous restaurant in Philadelphia. And the good thing about work...
The little, forget what they call those things. He just talked about it.
With its iconic coin-operated machines, was America's original fast Roebuck department store.
If I wanted to go to the movies, or if I wanted to go to the amusement park, there was no money from a mother to give us to go to the amusement park, and so we had to work.
One of Walter's favorite jobs was at the Horn and Hardart Automat in the heart of downtown Philadelphia.
The Automat.
Once
the Automat was what I was thinking about. That was the first fast food type place. That's so crazy, man. But he worked there, and the labor board was like, yeah, you can't let this kid work here. And they got him fired. He was doing good, and they got him fired. Boom. Boomhauer says, what up, y'all? Building my fishing rod over here. Hell yeah. Yeah, I like that new attachment you got on there. That thing was nice. Yeah, but he experienced real racism throughout his life. And in that video, they were talking about those damn medallions for the cabs. That blew my damn mind, how expensive that was. And when he was going through the army, he would give them, he was a rebel too. He'd be giving them shit just to instigate, because he knew certain things weren't proper and he was trying to change shit. But in this, he talks about property rights and...
Economics tends to bring people to their senses.
Over time, blacks...
Look how everybody was dressed back then. Everybody had nice dresses. They had suits. Everybody in these old videos had suits.
Struggled to enter the mainstream of America.
Now everybody's hoochie mamas busting with their ass hanging out and shit and getting booty juice all over the seats at the damn Lakers game.
American life. They acquired property and personal holdings, to the point that Du Bois commented, "It is astonishing how the African has integrated himself into American civilization." In 1853, Frederick Douglass...
But back then, they actually had real racism to deal with. And he shows, like, when they don't use equity, people actually come, the cream rises to the top, basically, is what he was saying. This thing about the cabs was amazing to me.
Very taxi on it, and lo and behold, he was in business making money. Today, it's entirely different.
Unlike the early 20th century, many cities today restrict the number of taxis by requiring each taxi to have a medallion. The cities keep the number of medallions strictly limited.
You hear that? They keep the number of medallions strictly limited.
A taxi medallion in Philadelphia currently costs $400,000.
Ooh, shit. $400,000 for a taxi cab medallion, just for a little plaque that you can put on your car that says that you are a part of this group. And he's going to explain why this is so expensive right here.
Similar to what it costs in Boston or Chicago. In New York City, a medallion costs an individual over $700,000.
$700,000 for one individual to have a medallion. Look at all these cab cars. Now, not everybody in all of these cars are from the same company, I would assume. So $700,000 a pop for each one of these cars to have a medallion on it.
With a corporate medallion topping in at $1 million.
So a corporate medallion, $1 million.
1937, one could buy an original taxi medallion in New York City for $10.
The price of...
Back then, you could get it for $10. And I know inflation is different now. It'd be $50 million today, but...
a medallion, or the price of any license, it reflects the value that the owner of the license places on being in a government-protected monopoly market. Because if the government said anybody could get into the cab business, allow anybody, well then the price of a license would be zero. It wouldn't be worth anything. It leads to higher prices, and so the consumers hurt, and it leads to outsiders not being able to get in. And that's the whole point of the medallion system, is to keep insiders in and outsiders out.
Yep. That's class warfare right there. When you are in a different tier based on your monetary value or what you're able to bring to the table, and you're kept out of other places because you can't come up to that class because of your monetary value or your lack thereof, that's class warfare. And they use it to their advantage constantly. But that was a good one. Walter Williams, Suffer No Fools. It's only 54 minutes long. If you watch that, it's pretty good to watch, actually. Thank you, Sonia, for sending that to me. Boom Boom's in the house. Hell yeah. What you doing, brother? Making things go bing bong over there. Make sure you guys call in, or you can hit that Skype link in the on the header page there. I definitely appreciate y'all. Oh my God. 504, what's up?
Hey Rebel, it's Alien Spaceship.
Hey, what's going on, Alien? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Hopefully, I'm in a quiet area. Hopefully, is this area is better. Because,
yeah, it sounds great.
You know, where I was.
Yeah, it sounds
okay.
fine.
Okay. Yeah. So I was watching some of your stream. I kind of got there a little later. Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous how they wanted to have women change in the same bathroom as the transgender people.
Say that one more time.
Oh, okay. I think it's ridiculous how they wanted. Some of these liberals are okay with the transgender people changing with the real women.
Yeah, it's inappropriate in my opinion. If they want a space, why can't they just make their own space? But there's two sides to that coin of where now you're legitimizing their madness when you do that.
Yes, it's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
Right. And also, I've seen that black guy, Larry Elder, is that his name?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I've seen him before on other streams. Other streamers have talked about him. And yeah, because a lot of the stuff that they've done to the black community has actually caused them to have worse problems.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because with these liberal policies, they cause them to have worse problems with the crime and with the poverty, and that's pretty much all they do, because they say they're going to do something, but they do something else that works against the people that they say they're helping.
Yeah, exactly, because if they actually did anything that made any positive change, they would be out of a job.
Exactly, because it's very profitable what they're doing. And the same thing with women. Like, they always say they're for women's rights and whatnot, but the transgenders only are causing women to go backwards with their rights, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's going to take the ladies to have enough of this mess to where they finally say, no, we're done with it. We're not going forward with this anymore. Start using their dollar, like I said, canceling their memberships at these places that don't support them whatsoever. And they're the minority. And if we don't stop it now, it's going to get out of hand.
All right, exactly, because it's like a wildfire that just keeps on going and going and going. And I was reading about one of the original communists. His name was Frederick Engels. He was the guy that wrote the book with Karl Marx, and he was talking about there was a time in England. That's where they were. They were in London because they were kicked out of Germany, and they're liberals. Like, we aren't liberal, but they were talking about how people had, like, the work hours were kind of different, or they're saying how women, they had to give birth and then they would go work, and it was like something, maybe another time period, things were a little different. And it seems like they probably would be against the transgender thing, I would think, although they're, political opponents to us. As I told you, it's very strange how these communists evolved over time, from what I researched.
Yeah. What do you think their end goal thing is with the transgenderism, though?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I really don't know, but I could speculate that it has to do with a couple of things, that they're trying to demoralize the culture, and they're trying to, and this is a way they could get these minorities to use them as, I was not calling minorities, because I consider these people like monsters. These transgenders, they're using them as an agitation to, like, kind of like cannon fodder, I think it's called, when you just use a bunch of soldiers on the front lines and they all just die. They're using them like that, and they could be doing a reverse psychology thing to cause us to get agitated and have like a revolution against it.
Yes, sir. I think you're onto something.
Right. Yeah. And because all these people that the communists, the side of the communists now, they're all these wealthy liberals, and the communists usually were supposed to be against these people. And it's kind of odd that these are the ones that are supporting their cause. It's like they don't even know what they're talking about. Because I remember at school, it was a private school, and there was a lot of people, that, from good families, not good families, that's not what I want to say, wealthy people. And they all seemed liberal, and it's kind of strange because the communists would destroy them in the revolution.
Yeah, you mean in a hand-to-hand combat type situation, or just ideologue-wise?
Well, because the communists, they want to take out the wealthy class, but a lot of the wealthy people support communism, and I thought that was a contradiction. I thought it was strange.
Yeah, a lot of their stuff is contradictory in on itself, and it's just designed to confuse people. So where you're totally demoralized, you're confused, you don't know what's going on. So no matter what kind of information you get from anywhere, you don't even know what to do with the information.
Exactly, and I think that because they were socialists, and the end goal of the socialists is communism, and that's what I saw. And I like regular people more, because I just feel that they are more. They just want to do regular things and stuff. And a lot of these liberals of different groups and whatnot, they all seem like they're in very bizarre anti-God things. And yeah, and it's something to think about. That I wonder, what their end goal is. But as I said, they're using them as an agitation, and they could be using a reverse psychology tactics. And also, I know you were talking about the Biden, he was passing something. Would you tell me again exactly what that was?
It was an executive order on gender-based, like the sexuality, protecting their sexuality, and it was,
so it has
basically reaffirming rights that are already there. I don't know why he has to go further to make an executive order on preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of sex. Sexual orientation or gender identity is what it was.
Well, yeah, because I remember, because you were talking about it, and usually I get out the door, I go outside So I shut everything down, and there's a space where I am not fully there on the stream. So when I saw that, I just I didn't really understand what his point was of doing that and exactly what it was, but yeah, I get it. So yeah, basically I think what they're trying to do is just propaganda. Most sheeple in America don't realize that's already was already legal, already in law. And they're trying to say, look how great Joe Biden is, how he did this and that, but it was already there, so it has to do, beating up a straw man.
Yeah, exactly. Psychological warfare, because like you said, what they call normies, are not in tune to these politics on the deeper level like we are. We're more involved in it because I guess we care about what's happening in the day-to-day, but when they see something like this on TV, yeah, you're right. They praise Joe Biden like, oh my God, he's the greatest president ever. Trump never did anything to affirm our stuff. But you saw Trump's message, didn't you?
I saw parts of it. I kind of got there later. I was seeing my grandparents and I was eating dinner, and I saw parts of it for a second, but I didn't, see most of it. No, but I kind of saw little bits of it, and I thought it was interesting. But you could tell me what you want to say about it.
Yeah. Basically, he came out and gave them both barrels on that because he said he's going to stop the gender-affirming surgery. Any of the doctors that have been doing that are going to be investigated, and if they have lawsuits that they want to put forth on those people for destroying their bodies, that he's going to help prosecute them. They're going to lose Medicaid and Medicare if they push that type of stuff. He's basically going to outlaw the whole thing, pushing it on children.
Well, that's really good. That's really good. Because Trump is, he's good at what he's doing, and it's good that he's, exposing what's going on, and that he would fight against this. And do you think that people, the normies, have been brainwashed to be against Trump?
Absolutely. And,
right.
I mean, do they even have to be brainwashed to be against him, though? The so much negative press that they do put out there for him, I mean, you almost can't not like the dude, you know what I mean? But, normies, if they believe anything that's put on TV, they push anti-Trumpism all the time.
Right. When I was, in 2016, I was old enough to vote, but I didn't vote at all because I was focusing on family stuff, and I was always, conservative and political. But, I wasn't a big fan of Trump because I was told some lies about him, and I didn't investigate it, but I knew I didn't know enough about it to vote on it. But when I learned more about it, right when he won, I'm like, oh, this guy's great.
Yeah, they try to do a whole psyop constantly on the people to make you believe what they want you to believe. Not just always
right,
about
and I
Trump.
wasn't paying attention to what was going on, but if I was paying more attention, I would have totally been for him completely the whole time.
Yeah, but you see how many votes that he got, and allegedly that didn't work out for him. You know what I mean? Allegedly. Speculation.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm curious to see how it's going to go this next time when they're obviously pushing DeSantis to be an opponent for him when he could stay solid being governor of Florida and not have any issues. He's doing fine down there. But even Trump's coming out telling him, calling him Ron DeSanctimonious and shit, and letting him know kind of like, if you're going to come in the ring with me, you're going to get your head knocked off before you even get in here. So get ready for whatever you're trying to do. You know what I mean? He's ready for him. He called him a globalist. Trump called him a globalist. I was laughing. I was, oh my God, dude, he's starting already. But if that's going to be your opponent, that's going to be your opponent. It doesn't matter if they're on quote, our side or their side. He's going to fight to be the president again, and whoever's in his way, he's going to demolish them all the way until he gets there.
Right, and I think, that's true, and I think Trump has done very well, when he was in office, and, everything, like on Amazon, everything is so expensive, and everything is going up in price everywhere, grocery stores and gas and whatnot, and I think with Trump, he's a great president, I would love to see him in, and I understand, people might not vote for him or like the way he is because the media has demonized him so much. So I hope that won't cause people to not vote for him, and because of so much propaganda about him. Because it's important for us to win and not have globalists in there, of course, but it's important for us to win to get Biden out of there.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, I'm interested to see how it's going to go because he had so many people on his side last time, and Biden won in a quote unquote landslide, the most votes of any president ever, even more than Obama. Like, come on, man. You expect me to believe this? Okay.
Right. And it's like they have to exaggerate it. And I remember I remember this. Now I want to ask you, do you have like emails or something that you could receive messages from?
Yes, sir. If you email therealrebelwithouutareason@gmail.com, the email address scrolls across the top of the screen. So if you forget that, it's therealrebelwithouutareason@gmail.com.
Right. Yeah, because I obviously can't teleport an image to the phone because I don't have the technology just yet to, while I'm on this call. But basically, I remember I was watching the election, and then I remember this is when I found ABL, and I was watching Crowder at the time, but I was, discovered ABL, and I really loved his stuff, and that's how I met all you guys. And basically, I saw the next morning, all these states are leaning red. And the people at CNN are just going, we might have to just call it a night. But it's the next day. It's election night or day. It's not election week, as Trump said.
Yeah, yeah. And when that was actually happening, on that night, I was watching it live on TV, and the account changed. I said, "Oh, what in the hell?" Like they were taking away what was there. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, dude, they just did that on national television. This is not going to go well. And the next day I saw Biden giving his speech in front of that whole Jeep parking lot there. It was full of just Jeeps. I said, dude, this is a psyop, man. This whole thing is a psyop. This is not real. Oh, no. Oh boy, what's happening? Yeah. So I knew right from that moment it was done. When he had the motorcade coming through, I'm like, nope, that was it, man. It's official now.
All right, because if it was our side doing that, there would be mayhem in the news, and the whole country would have rioted, and the world would have fallen apart. And then all these activists that claim they're for the black man and the rights and being liberal and all, and they go and vote for Joe Biden when he has a history with the Ku Klux Klan, and he has these things in his past, and these people don't talk about that.
No, even Charlemagne the God was saying, I'm just finding out this month about the things that Biden has done. What? Dude, these are things that everybody's known about this fool forever, but you voted for him. You had him on your show, and he was telling you to your face, if you don't vote for me versus Trump, then you ain't black. So the fact that Charlemagne the God is even questioning whether Joe Biden should be reelected should be putting his blackness in question if you're going by Joe Biden's rhetoric.
Exactly, and that's a racist remark in general.
Yep. Right to his face on national TV, and he's such a panderer, like getting Cardi B in there. She was right there on it, pushing it too, trying to manipulate people's feelings, manipulate their emotions. And now both of them have come out and said, what in the hell is going on? Things are way too expensive. Things are out of control. All of the things that you were mentioning that they trying to say that Trump was going to have happen as a result of his presidency is what's happening right now under Joe Biden's presidency.
Exactly. I remember with these people, they all have like their sheeple, and they all get like a herd mindset. And, they don't talk about how a lot of people on the left, and the communists and stuff, like they had racist ideas, but they just talk about taking down like the Confederate flag and also they talk the Nazis and stuff, but they don't think they don't say anything about Karl Marx when he had remarks about black people and different things. And they just leave him out. Like if you wear like a Confederate flag shirt and walk in a black area, they're going to probably have some people that are going to be upset. But if you wear like a communist thing, no one's going to care because they either don't know what it is, they think it's cool, but they were never told that was bad, but all these other things are bad. And it's like, there's obviously something going on here.
Yeah, it's brainwashing. It's a psyop. And people that are soft-brained idiots that only watch the regular mainstream news I mean, we've got friends that say, man, if it's not on TV, then it's not real. You get your information from Twitter. You get it from the internet. It's not real. QAnon, da-da-da-da-da. Try to discredit and discount everything that you say. But later on, they always have that Biden remorse. Like, man, we're paying $9 for a gallon of milk. What's happening here?
Exactly. And they were saying about taxing the rich and how they are going to get them back. But that's the rich make everything more expensive. And unfortunately, the people that are poor that wanted those policies and the sheeple of all different classes and races are now suffering. Well, we're all suffering from the prices being high, but especially they voted in these policies in all these liberal areas. Like I'm in, New Orleans, as you know, and the crime has gone up, drastically. And my area, like my part is like a little pocket that is okay, but the surrounding areas, you could hear, gunshots and different things, and they're starting to, it's starting to climb up since these liberals took over.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, man. Keep your head down and protect yourself out there for sure. Because you see how they're trying to demoralize the police. Anthony was on Sonia's show yesterday, and he was talking about how one of his buddies is a longtime police officer, and he wants to retire and quit just based on all the different George Floyd stuff and this latest incident in Memphis where they're charging all those cops with murder. I mean, like I said before, if they try to make it to where the cops don't even want to be cops anymore, who are they going to get to be the cops? They're going to escalate violence on the street so much that you're going to be begging, please come in here with some type of military intervention, just National Guard, somebody please come. And they're going to come. That's when they're going to start locking people down.
Right. And a lot of these Antifa people, like, remember when I was watching the riots in 2020, I think that's the year it happened, and they were talking about how their plan for policing. So, like, they had some people go in there and interview them while it was going on, and Antifa was basically saying how they believe that they were acting on as the founding fathers in American patriotism. That's what some of them really thought, or they were just saying that, but that's these crazy people think, and they would police their own cities, like neighborhoods wouldn't police themselves, and it's just like a bunch of criminals just running the show. It's just stupid.
Yep, and when does it end? I mean, like you said, are they trying to provoke the normal citizens into doing something, which I think that's part of it too? But I think we're all smarter than that.
Right, because they probably, as I said, because all these people from, what I studied, because I studied about this since I was very young, because I was interested in the history, that these communists, like from the Europe and stuff, they would definitely have gotten rid of these people that are causing us trouble, the liberals and the Antifa people. Even like they'll use them and then they get rid of them, and they didn't like these people that, like, they called them, I think, the petty bourgeoisies, which has to do with it's a class thing. Like those are like kind of the real rich people, and a lot of those people, the liberals, and like they didn't like them. And I think they're using some kind of reverse psychology tactic to provoke the regular people into doing something. And we just have to protect our country and have use our heads, logic, and not go by our emotions. Because I think you can agree, the liberals just go by emotion.
Yeah, exactly. They use emotional manipulation all the time, language manipulation. It's a huge psyop. I think it was under Obama that they actually made it legal to use psychological warfare on the American citizens.
Yes. And I'll tell you something I found out today. All right?
Go ahead.
Found something today. So I saw a Twitter notification, and they're going to track people in hospitals and doctors, people that didn't get the vaccine. They're going to track people now that didn't get it.
Say what now?
They're going to track people that didn't get the vaccine, like people that go to the hospital or to the doctor. I could send you the article. They're going to track people that didn't get the vaccine.
Is that just in the United States, or are you talking about Australia?
I think it's here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, send me that if you would to the email, because I know I saw a clip of the new Australian guy that's taken place of Skeletor. You know, she's given up her position. I think February. I think it might have been February the 5th when she's out of there. I can't remember the exact date, but we're gonna throw a damn party when that bitch is out of there. But he's worse. He's all double, triple masked up, and he's telling them straight up, like, we're gonna come looking for y'all. The people that have been hesitant, and when you haven't gotten it yet, we're gonna come look for y'all, and everybody's gonna get it. So I mean,
right.
Come and looking for trouble, you're gonna find it, obviously.
Right. I'll send it to you because it was. I read the article earlier, and I thought, they're really pushing this vaccine thing because my cousin, he passed away from some he had drug issues and he wasn't really that healthy, and he passed away. But he was an activist, but he was a conservative. He was what's called an anarchist, so he didn't believe in any kind of government, and he was kind of wild. But he was leaned more on the conservative side. He wasn't a liberal, and he was he showed me a lot of information about the vaccine and how they want to try to condition people to get used to having a chip in their hand to. When you buy something from the store, there would be something, and you swipe your hand over something, and there's a chip in your hand that records everything. And I think you may have heard this kind of thing before, and that's what the vaccine is like, preparing us to have that done to us.
Yeah, and I've heard that point being made too, but everybody says, man, I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be tracked. But if you have one of these phones in your hand, in your pocket, you're being tracked all the time. You're being listened to all the time. You're being photographed all the time.
Exactly.
So
yes.
I do agree with the whole chip embedding thing, but you don't have to even have that. It's already voluntarily in your hand. You take it around with you every day, everywhere you go.
Exactly, and my cousin was saying that is preparing us psychologically to be used to being chipped and to be in those situations. And also cryptocurrency and whatnot is getting us used to being in a system because it has to do with a much bigger government plan, a tyrannical plan that they have, and it's just baby steps that they're doing. So they wanted people to be used to saying, like for the gays, say, oh, well, they just want to get married and they do this, and the transgenders, they did it through baby steps to the normalization, like with this Russian spy that came to the West was saying how they want to do that to dumb us down and to get people used to those things. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And a lot of people don't realize that their phones and the social media and the different things are tracking us and everything we do.
Yeah, and it's making you dumb too because Sonia came up with a good point yesterday. Well, remembering phone numbers and stuff, all your phone numbers and all your information is in that phone now. Do you remember any of the phone numbers of your friends or any of your work even right off the top of your head? Most people probably don't.
Exactly. And this is a very slow thing that they're doing to condition us to do that. Because I remember at school, it was a family-owned school, and the headmaster, he was the geometry teacher, and he was telling us about how in his time people could, do things in their head with math, and now people use the calculators and whatnot, and that even he could see through teaching math that over time that some of these technology things hindered us in some ways.
Yeah, if you think about it, before we had cell phones, we had those capabilities readily available in our mind, but now it's even a little slow for us that have been educated with those basic tools to not have technology to help us. Counting on your fingers, you know what I mean? The kids nowadays, they are so ingrained with the technology, teaching them that if you took that technology away, they have no basic skills to fall back on. They don't even know what you're talking about. They can't read a two-handed clock. They can only read a digital clock.
Exactly. And I like technology, and I grew up in the technology age, and it's something I'm interested in. But I do know that if you don't use a muscle, if you don't use a skill, it gets weak and it doesn't work right. And that's why with me, I balance myself. I don't, especially now, and talking to you about this, like I don't want to be too reliant on technology, and I always, done this where I, look at the clocks, the regular clocks and whatnot, and get my mind used to not being too reliant on technology. Because say, like when I was in the hurricanes, sometimes the power would go out for a week. I mean, you don't have, you have the phone, I have the phone, but you get more like reliant on the old school stuff.
Yeah, immediately. It takes one day and you're back to the Stone Age. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize. They are so absolutely dependent on technology. Believe me, I love it because it's enabling us to have the conversations that we're having right now and everybody being in here with us. But one bomb or one EMP is all it's going to take to send us back to the Stone Age immediately. And then what's going to happen?
Exactly. And, the radio and all these things and the technology have brought us closer together, yet we're so far apart in a way.
Say that one more time.
Okay, so technology, it brought people close together. In another sense, it brought people farther apart because it causes people to be more isolated on their devices and whatnot and be hindered in other ways, where say about the clocks and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And also with the social media, like bullying was a big thing when we were kids, but now it's on a national level, you know what I mean? A worldwide level. You could get humiliated and get beat down in school and somebody's posting you on Twitter the next day, and that's forever now, you know what I mean? So the kids of today have so many more pressures that we could have never thought about then, and we were brought up and built up with the skills to handle that type of psyop. I don't believe that they are going to be as strong to withstand a huge psyop that's coming their way.
Oh, exactly. And also the food and the dieting, and I study things like on YouTube about health and stuff because I'm interested in my own health, and that it raises cortisol and stress in these young people, and it's going to make them less healthy. And as you said, the bullying and all the stuff that's going on, the cyberbullying and the different things, it's causing people to have more problems, and it's going to make them more weak. And this is just what the enemies want. And also things like TikTok, as we talked about the other time, how China is taking in all this information from us, and Trump tried to ban it, as you said, and I knew, and now they don't let it happen, and hopefully they get it banned. But yeah, you're right. And I do like technology a whole lot, and that's how I met all you people, and I don't regret it. And I just think there needs to be a balance. With everything, there needs to be balance. Like with a business, you need balance. So there needs to be a balance between social media and the old school stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And also, I want to know your thoughts on DeSantis, if you want to talk about that.
I think DeSantis is a good governor, but I also think that he is a governor that's pushed out there in the media way more than any governor that I've seen in the recent couple years, I guess. I don't know. We have a lot of states. Why do they push him on TV so much? And I know Florida is a big state. New York is a big state. As far as population goes, tourism and all that. But Gavin Newsom, it seems like the big governors they see all the time on TV, but the regular governors of every single state that we all live in, they don't get that kind of shine. For what reason? And I see them pushing DeSantis before Trump was even out of there. I'm like, who is this guy? Why are they pushing him so hard? And his mannerisms when he talks, if you watch how he talks very presidential now, like Trump did, always with his hands. I don't know if he's got the same coordinators, same trainers, but he's a politician, so they're in a different league than what we are. So, he's from what I understand, he's a war veteran. He puts it off like he's got a good plan. I like some of his plans. But people have said because Trump is still pushing that vaccine that they're off the Trump train now, and they're all 100% on DeSantis. So I believe that's by design too. He's a great governor. Let him finish out his time in the governor as the governor down there in Florida. And if he wants to run after the fact, when Trump's done, let him get in there, and we'll have two back to back that are going to be great.
Yeah. And yeah, I think DeSantis, until I'm, proven wrong, and I understand your point, and you're understood, and I wonder too what the reasons is why they're pushing him. But yeah, I think he's cool. I think he's all right, and I think I agree with you on that. He would be good alongside Trump, but I do remember when I was talking to ABL about this. Do you remember when I was called in to ABL about Trump using reverse psychology to get people to like DeSantis over him? Do you think that makes any sense?
Yeah, I think it does because Trump's a pretty smart businessman. I think he knows the psychological advantages of playing with people's emotions as well.
Yeah, because it's just the people have been so conditioned to dislike Trump, as I said earlier, and they don't like his personality, but his personality, he has to be like that because the way he acts, if somebody tried to hurt the country or hurt the people, he would fight against it. Like, they don't understand that, he is like that to protect his people as a president, and he's not just going to be a nice, a nice president that's just going to obey orders, but it's good to be nice and good and also protect and defend at the same time. And yeah, so that's what I think too, that what you said. And it's good that, I have these, different opinions and different, thoughts about these things. And also, I think, we're at the wait and see what happens because, when Trump starts to run again, I wonder, who's going to be running against him besides DeSantis. Do you know of any people?
Yeah, I think they're going to push Gavin Newsom out there. Because he was on whenever Biden just went over to California and looked at those, I forget what they even called the floods. They have a new terminology for that now. Atmospheric, it wasn't atmospheric runoff, but it was something to that effect, to where they wouldn't necessarily say it was a flood, but it was something to do with global warming for sure.
Right. And also in England, they're pushing, a lot of green deals in England, and a lot of the prices are going up. And I saw today an ad, speaking of green energy, I saw an ad from Bill Gates on YouTube when I was watching the video. And they're talking about how they're going to have these green energy units like way out in the desert away from the cities, and it's going to power up the whole country. And because the power plants are too close by to people's houses and stuff. And it's like, these people know what happened in Texas when the wind turbines froze, or if it got cloudy for a couple of weeks, everybody would be out of energy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I thought about when they were talking about pushing all these damn insects for people eating bugs. I mean, all the bugs die when the wintertime comes. What are they going to do when the first winter comes and destroys all the insect life? Cows can live throughout the wintertime. Bugs cannot, so I don't think they...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I don't think
that was absolutely absurd. I saw a Paul Joseph Watson video about it, and what's her name? I forgot her name, but this actress, she was saying about how she was eating bugs. I remember when I was a kid at the summer camp in New Orleans, and we went to the insectarium, and there was these people, you could eat these little bugs, and I'm just like, I'm good. I'll pass on that one. And my friends are eating the bugs. I'm like, I'm good. I don't know what kind of Twilight Zone episode I got myself into, but y'all could eat that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I don't know where they're coming with the bugs. I even saw Robert Downey Jr. was like on a Zoom call on, I think it was the Tonight Show, or I think it was the Tonight Show with Jimmy Kimmel. No, it was who was the other one? Jimmy Fallon, his silly ass.
Yeah.
He was eating those damn like ground up mealworms or something. I'm like, dude, you rich elite a-holes are not going to convince me to eat bugs. I don't care how cool you think you look.
Right. And also, I remember there's these pictures in the wall of this kid in India somewhere eating a black widow. I'm like, the insectarium was interesting. I mean, I like science and biology and things and chemistry and whatnot. I like to study it in school, and I like studying things about it on YouTube. And then I go to the other part, and I see the gift shop and these edible bugs. As I said, I was not going to go there and eat that. And when they were pushing the people eating bugs, and her name was Nicole Kidman. That's what the actress's name was.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I forgot her name, but the whole time you and I were talking, I was trying to remember her name in the back of my head. And yeah, she was getting some chopsticks and eating it. And I just think about, these people are so depraved. And I study things about different like showmanship and stuff, I call it. And so there's confidence, right? So these people like Bill Gates and these people, they're saying something insane and crazy, but they say it in a confident way. So it tricks the normies and baffles us because they're so confident about it because there's some kind of an agenda behind it. So you were saying about DeSantis, when he uses his arms, yes, when you use your arms and you talk like that, it shows the signs of confidence and it conveys the message of what you're trying to say. And that's basically, they're using these skills to put out their agenda. And I don't understand the bug thing, but it just shows me that we got to, as I say, I like gardening, and there's all kinds of things that you can garden, like I like radishes and I like turnips and things because these root plants are good.
What's going in your garden right now? You said something was coming up the other day. What's coming up?
Oh yeah. So what's as I said on ABL? Yeah. So what's coming up in the garden right now? I have some turnips and I have radishes. So I made this little square and I got some turnips and then some radishes and turnips. And then what I do is I take some of the seeds, a bunch of them, and I just put them in a little spot in the ground. And a whole bunch of them come up, and I could put them in different places. And I have corn. I have some kind of lettuce. I have spinach. And I have eggplant and broccoli. And, yeah, the elephant ear plants, they had some – I was securing the blanket I put over them so they don't freeze. But there was a cold front coming in, and then the thing started breaking, and I didn't want this to fly on the interstate. So, but the elephant ear plants are coming back. They're just kind of for ornamental purposes. And the peppers are doing good. They're still producing peppers, and I got to get some other soil like chicken manures. I just learned recently. It's pretty good because it has a different stuff in it. So that's what I'm growing in the garden right now. And yeah, I think, is your climate good for like right now? Could you grow stuff, or is it too cold?
It's still too cold. It was icy yesterday. Not icy today, but all of my garden died as soon as the winter came. But as soon as it gets better weather, spring, or right before spring, I'm going to get out there and kind of till everything in those raised beds that I made and replant some stuff.
And I'll tell you some interesting information. All right, so the Jerusalem artichoke is a very cool flower to grow. It's a nice that you should grow that.
What is it called?
Jerusalem artichoke.
Jerusalem artichoke. I never even had artichoke.
It's not an artichoke. It's like a potato.
Really?
So, yeah. So this is the guy that I used to talk about aliens with at my school when I was young. He told me about this plant because since my area is mostly black, but I have good neighbors and nice like black conservatives I know, but there are the silly kind. And he was telling me they would know, even where you are, there's, of course, kinds of people everywhere that they would see a corn and take it. But you see, it looks like it's like a flower plant, like a sunflower plant, but the roots are edible. So it's like a secret plant to eat. And it comes back every year. You don't really have to do anything to it. So that's something like I've been wanting to tell you and Boomhauer about in the rest of the chat. You could order it on Amazon, and it's a nice plant. Y'all could grow as a backup plant if the other stuff doesn't work or gets stolen or something.
Yeah. Luckily, my stuff's in a fence, and we don't have any kind of high crime like that where somebody's coming and trying to risk their life for stealing vegetables out of my garden. But hopefully, we'll never have to cross that bridge either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hope so too. I remember when I was young, my grandma's sister lived in Kentucky, and I went up there for a couple of weeks or so, and it's really nice in that area. It's nice. I enjoyed it, and I'll go back there again. But I do like New Orleans. It's a nice area, and but the thing is, though, the crime, and there's a lot of liberals and different people there, and basically. Yeah, my neighborhood's okay, but the surrounding areas have issues. But my area is kind of like a rural area, and it has a lot of land. It's not like it's away from the city part.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be living right in the city. I mean, I'm in the city, but not in the city. You know what I mean? So
I'm like that too, because I'm like on the outskirts of it, and Now, I mean, there's some people I know that are in the city, like some like teachers and things ahead. I'm glad I'm not there. Like people like, skyscrapers and things like that. And yeah, the outskirts, I'm very close to Mississippi and the different places. And, but and God has blessed me tremendously. And that, I contribute a lot of my success and my good things that gone well to him. And yeah, those are just some gardening tips for me. And that's why with the garden, I plant a bunch of seeds at once. So say if you did that, like you put some seeds in a spot and you get a bunch of seeds, just put them and bury them, and a bunch of little sprouts come up, and you could put it in a pot in your house or something. It's like a bunch of backup plants, and you could put them in different places. And I like my area. It's good for planting stuff. And that's, what this part of the country was used for a lot back in the day.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this weather to change and get back outside a little bit. This winter's killing me. I can't stand the cold.
Right. And I saw my mom sent me something today where there was a Chinese spy balloon that was flying over the northern part of the country.
Yeah, I showed a picture of that earlier. What's the details on that? Do you know?
Yeah, so basically what happened was the Chinese thing was coming over to America, and Biden actually wanted to shoot it down, they said, and then the Pentagon said, don't do it because debris will go everywhere. And I'm like, I wonder if somebody in the Pentagon has been infiltrated.
Oh, dude, 100,000% in my opinion. In my opinion, total speculation, but I think they've all been bought and sold, and it's just a matter of time. But Trump was in there trying to expose all that stuff, and when he put those tariffs on them, that threw a monkey wrench in everybody's stuff, and they were like, uh-oh, we're going to have to ratchet up this plan a little bit more, so...
Yeah, and basically, they're saying about the debris, that would go over. So right now, it's still traveling the country right now, and they're just letting it come over, and it's absurd that the Pentagon would do that. And I'll tell you this, I'm interested in aliens, and the Pentagon and all these government agencies were covering up the aliens for so long, and my friend told me when I was younger that there is going to be a point when they can't hide it anymore because of social media and whatnot, and they are going to come out and toss and be honest about it and say, this is what's going on. That's why the Pentagon's talking about it, because people, you see it on TikTok, they see it on Instagram or YouTube, and they can't hide it anymore, just like with that planet that could be way out of our solar system, Planet 10, that sometimes could come into our orbit at some point. And, they hide these things because the Pentagon is infiltrated by bad people.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And, yeah, you go on.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So, basically, the Pentagon, they have all these, things in there, and I'm sure there are good people in there somewhere, I guess, but my point is that a lot of the bad people are taking control of it because they wouldn't let the guy shoot down the spy balloon that was coming over. Do you know exactly what the balloons are for? I'm not too familiar with the spy balloons.
No, I think it's more an easy way without being having actual fighter jets come over our territory and be dealt with directly that way. So they could just send that thing up in the air, and wherever it goes, they're taking surveillance. How controllable is it? I have no idea.
Okay, because I remember when I was young, and they say an alien spaceship was a balloon. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they get a giant metal balloon and they put helium in it. I'm like, just didn't really know what these things are used for, but okay, I get it. And so the Chinese thing is a threat, and I think that it's important that TikTok gets banned at some point, and so many Americans are so blind to it. And that if something does happen, like if there is some kind of a bomb that was dropped that knocked out the power grid, a lot of people would be in trouble, and, it would be different.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because they're pushing so many electric vehicles now, and everybody's bought into it. Not everybody, but a lot of people have bought into it. You see the price of the used vehicles went through the roof when they couldn't even get chips for these things. And who makes all the chips? China. And then Biden wants to try to sign this CHIPS Act saying that we're going to manufacture chips over here. To me, that's absolutely impossible because the EPA has so many hardcore regulations about us having clean water, clean air, that type of technology being built on the shores of the United States is impossible. because we don't have the people,
Right.
we don't have the facilities, we don't have the environmental lax that is required to destroy our environment like China is done over there. If you see any pictures of their environment, it's smog everywhere, it's dirty, it's filthy, because they
Oh, yeah.
are an industrialized nation because they build all of our stuff. Well, our stuff's expensive. Nobody wants to build anything here because there's EPA has so many regulations. What do you do?
Oh yeah, because some people were telling me about the energy vehicles, and I'm just like, I'm not into it. And it's like if Atomic Tabasco was one time brought this up during ABL Live, which is a very good point. If a hurricane happened, I mean, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And the power went out, or for some reason, power goes out. You can't charge your car.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to charge anything. And like I said, you're right back to the Stone Age immediately. So it's another form of control. So what are we going to do? Well, what's the government going to do for us? They're going to come in with electronic generators that run off diesel fuel and give us power that way again? They're chasing their tail over, around and around.
Right. And I wonder if, like, these elites, like, say, Bill Gates, they either know they're doing something wrong and they have some secret hideout somewhere like Epstein did, or they are just so brainwashed and twisted and really think they're doing the right thing, and then when this stuff happens, they're going to go, oh, I was dumb. I wonder which one it is.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Right. Because, remember, the worst things are done with the best intentions.
Yes, sir, always. I don't even know if their
Yeah,
intentions are good, though. From what you see, the footage from the WEF over there, I don't think they have any good intentions.
Right, and I remember Alex Jones. I used to watch him when he used to be on YouTube. I mean, I check out his stuff here and there. I saw his Ye interview, remember that. But that was the last thing I saw from Alex Jones. But basically, he was saying about, in his theory, that, these theories that these people, like, they do want to do bad stuff to us. That's true.
Oh, yeah. He's been covering it for a really long time. So put another dollar in his jar, I guess. He's been right for on a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, he was the one that was talking about that they would be spying on us through different things. And I heard one time online that there are refrigerators and different things. And they just want control, and they want to have people to be submissive to them, to their order. And they always accuse us of being fascists when, according to their definition of fascism, they seem like more like that than we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And, yeah, as I told you earlier, I was looking at the Viking stuff in England, and I'm related to them from northern England.
Oh, cool. I think Gardius is from there. He would refresh my memory if I'm incorrect on that, but he's from that side of the pond as well.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because my uncle in England, I haven't heard from him in a while because we have some disagreements on some things. Like he's vegan and I'm not, and we had some giant. He's trying to control me or something, but he's conservative, and he would tell me about in England the green energy stuff, and the king in England, he, and the prince, and some of the royal people, they're supporting, without them, if they know it better or not, they're supporting these green policies that are causing British people a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think they know exactly what they're doing, though. John Kerry and all those guys, they're doing, everybody that went to that WEF, they know exactly what they're doing. It's class warfare. We are what they call useless feeders. They have no reason to try to take care of us whatsoever. We're useless to them. So they're going to develop a system where it's streamlined, where they're using the least amount of energy possible, the least amount of people possible, so they can maintain their longevity and their luxurious life status for the rest of their lives and not have any problems.
Yeah, I absolutely think that makes sense, especially when I was researching the Epstein thing and all the creepy, evil things that went on there. That makes sense with what they're doing. And, because they basically, say we're doing something, but it's them that are doing it. And that's why I told you, I don't know if this Marxist school of thought from the School of Frankfurt that infiltrated the United States, I don't know what their end goal is, because according to their own sources, they're supposed to fight against these kind of people. That's why I told you maybe they're trying to incite us for some reason. And yeah, because in England, my relatives over there, they're doing all right. But I also want to say this: the Royal Mail's on strike, and I wasn't able to get a card for my Nana for Christmas because the Royal Mail went on strike, and the socialists and whatnot, they're doing more stuff. And yeah, because my grandfather, he looks a lot like Prince Harry, and I look like the king from World War II. I have some resemblance to him for some reason. But, basically, I like my British heritage, as you know, and whatnot, but I still, these people, the royals, are doing something that is not good. I, obviously disagree with it and call that out.
Yeah, I think Sonia would have a lot in common with you on those royals. She keeps up with those guys a lot with the Harry and Meghan thing.
Oh, yeah. Harry totally he is soy. I mean, he totally, has been through the situations he's been through in his life. It's caused him to have psychological problems. And he basically, went with her, and he's been like sissified. And he's going with all these, different liberal ideas. And he basically was saying how he wants to be left alone. But going on the whole world and making all these movies and things and these Netflix stuff, he definitely is in the spotlight, though.
Yeah, writing a book and all that. If y'all were going to leave and get out of the spotlight, leave and get out of the spotlight. Don't leave and then write a book and do a documentary and stay on TV. And it's just a big game to make more money, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Exactly.
I'll give you the last word on this one. I'm going to get on to the next call. I had several calls that wanted to jump in, but I had to let them go so we could have our conversation. But I definitely appreciate you calling.
I'm okay. Well, hopefully, you like the conversation. I'm glad that you had me on, and I'm looking forward to the next one. All right. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. You call back anytime. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
See you. Shout out to Alien on that. He's always awesome. Devin, you can call back, honey. I'm sorry I didn't get your call there. I didn't want to have you in the call waiting for too long. So if you guys missed calling in, make sure you call in. Hit that number. Hit that Skype link if you want to. 615-348-5482. Anthony, was your buddy going to call in as well? Anthony said, Ops, did you see the interview with Jimmy Kimmel and Mike Lindell? It actually looks worth look-see. Pretty funny. No, I didn't see that. You can't even mention Mike Lindell without getting canceled. Man, he can't go anywhere without getting canceled. If you have any type of association with Trump, they'll label your ass a dissenter and come at you with at every angle. Good call, Alien. Good call, sir. I definitely appreciate y'all so much. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. While we're waiting on Devin to call, Anthony, did you drop a link for that Jimmy Kimmel and Mike Lindell interview, or do I need to go look for that? You don't have to do it. I can do it. 518, what's up?
Hey, Rebel, it's Guardius.
Hey, what's up, Guardius? How you doing, sir?
Hey, no problem. I just wanted to, if it's okay with you, answer a question from Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to do the call thing. Okay.
Yeah, just make sure you turn your background music off in the back there. Mute your stream or whatever you got.
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to mute it completely. Okay, here we go. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
No problem?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I can hear you. I muted the stream. Excuse me. I just quickly wanted to answer Devin's question. I know you're short of minutes, so I'll do this as quick as I can, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sir. You take your time.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that Devin's a college student, but I'm also assuming that it's a she. She asked me to look at a video by Ball of the Fifth Column. Who's pretty much a commie, but he's a huge, apparently, YouTuber. Anyway, this was from 3 years ago, and the title of it was "Let's Talk About Trump's Gift to Putin." I'm assuming she's a college student, so I'll just quickly go through it in the fashion of an academic paper, an abstract, my methodology, what he said, my refutation, and then conclusions. I'll start right now.
Okay.
So let's talk about Trump's gift to Putin. 3 years ago, the Fifth Column guy, Boy, the Fifth Column, said that basically Trump threw Europe under the bus when he backed out of the INF treaty that was written in 1987. So basically he's saying that Trump doesn't know how to do anything, threw Europe under the bus, made us all less safe, and Trump's not able to handle brinksmanship with the Russians and all the rest of it. So that's the idea of what he was talking about. Here's my methodology. I watched the video and I just put some key phrases in. It's a short video. I think it's only about 8 minutes long. I put some key phrases from his video into Google, and the first thing that it brought up was a CNN article from basically when Trump backed out of the treaty, and it's a short article. And what Bob the Fifth Column did, in my opinion, was just look at it and just reformat it a little bit, all the same talking points. And it was as if he was, basically channeling CNN. Anyway, so that was my methodology. I looked at, it was really easy. I think I spent about half an hour researching that particular article. What he said was, I guess, well, let me just explain quickly what INF is. INF was a treaty signed between the Russians and the Americans that banned all short and medium range ballistic systems that could be tipped with nuclear weapons, except for all the sea-launched ones. Now, of course, the Americans and the Russians at that time had plenty of submarines that could launch nuclear things. The reason why I think they did this was because in 1982 we almost got into a nuclear holocaust with the Russians. Everybody got really scared about that, and so they signed. It was Brezhnev and Reagan signed the first SALT treaty, which is the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty. Then after that was 85. I think in 86 there was SALT 2. 87 there was SALT 2, and part of that was the INF, and that's what what's his name, Fifth Column, was talking about. And he said basically that Trump threw Europe under the bus and made us all less safe, and Trump's useless, and all the rest of it. I think that's rubbish, because it took me just a couple of minutes looking for different, basically different takes on this, to find out that people thought it was, it was a good thing. And here's the reason why a lot of people thought it was a good thing. It's because the treaty was dead. The Russians and the Americans both broke the treaty. The Russians for practical reasons, because they had to have short and intermediate nuclear capability. In the time, and the Americans, because frankly, we Americans break treaties all the time. But in the meantime, from 1987, when this was signed, until 2017, I think, we were both breaking the treaty, but keeping to it substantially for the most part. We were keeping to it. But in that meantime, the Chinese became the world's prominent short and intermediate range power when it comes to nuclear tipped munitions. So they used that time under this treaty, while we and the Russians were just kind of saying it was a good thing. They used that time to increase their power. The Chinese went to significant power back in 1985. That was the SALT, and 1987, which was the INF. And so at that point, when Trump backed out of it, the Russians were happy about it because they realized that, hey, we got short and intermediate range nuclear weapons will be used against the Russians, not against the Americans. You can't hit the Americans. It's short and intermediate. So the Russians were chomping at the bit, trying to get this sorted out. The Americans, of course, already had all the nuclear capability that they needed, and every time they tried to put short and intermediate weapons, Pershings, basically, Pershing missiles, in Europe, they were thwarted by the anti-war left in Germany and in England. So there was a huge stink about that, and so they pulled the Pershings out. So basically, what that gentleman is saying, fifth column, is that Trump didn't know what he was doing. He just pulled out randomly because Trump's a lunatic. And he actually said that the Russians got everything they wanted and we got nothing. But that's simply not true. We got a lot from the Russians for scrapping that treaty, which was essentially dead anyway. And what we got was the ability to develop our own short and intermediate missiles. We got goodwill from Putin at this point because we recognize, I'm not defending Trump, I'm just saying that the defense people over here recognized that the Russians needed some sort of defense against the Chinese, who were more powerful than they were at that point, and they still are. So we got goodwill from the Russians. Essentially, Trump and Putin getting along, saying, well, yeah, we know that you've got a real problem. It's not that much of a problem to us, but we can, we'll do you a solid on this one. So the Russians were happy. We also turned the Russians against the Chinese because the Russians were worried about it, and the Chinese were saying essentially to the Russians, go screw yourself. And the last thing, of course, if you remember at the time, Trump was in a trade war with China. So this was another attack on China. And the trade war, of course, was because of the trade imbalance. But also at the time, if you remember, Trump was trying to force Europe to pay for their own defense. Mm-hmm. Europe hadn't paid the proper 2% or whatever, 2 or 3%, 4%, whatever it was of the national, the GDP into NATO to defend Europe against Russia. And they hadn't been doing it. And I'm sure everybody remembers, or some people remember, Trump was raging about this because the Europeans were relying on the American nuclear defense to defend the Europeans. And from that time, from 1985, Reagan's time, until they stopped that, the Europeans turned socialist. And what they did was paid their citizens to be quiet. Okay, we can rely on the Americans to defend us, so we can, make these socialist paradises like Sweden and Finland and Germany, and also England. We can just pay our people to be quiet, business as usual. Trump hated that. All right, so that's what fifth column said. that's what an alternative version or counterpart to his idea, which he got from an actual article in CNN. So there is, as far as I'm concerned, there's an alternative to thinking the way that he does. And this guy is huge. I think he's got as many subs as Salty. He's absolutely huge. And let me just to say two last things, essentially. I think he's a shill. I think he's a shill because I think he's being promoted by YouTube. He's got this huge subscription base, but nobody seems to respond to his bloody videos. And if you go through it, I mean, you'll see it. I think he relies on his good old boy persona. You know, I'm just some Southern journalist that's yearning for common sense. And yet every single bloody thing that he does is against Trump and against the right wing.
So
he did a thing on Trump. I'm sorry, mate. Go ahead.
So let me just clarify. This is a YouTube guy that's against Trump, and he's making videos as such, or?
Yes, he's still making videos. He did a video on Trump there just the other day. He's got TDS. He can't get away from Trump.
So it's called Bureau of the Fifth Column is the channel?
His name is Beau of the Fifth Column.
Beau of the Fifth Column. Okay, I've got that wrote down. I'll do some research on that guy.
Yeah, just take a look at him. And like I say, he promotes himself as a Southern good old boy who's just looking for common sense. I think that's just a face mask to appeal to our side. And the last thing I want to say is that he's laughing at us because anybody, as soon as I saw Fifth Column, I remembered my history. The Fifth Column is from the Spanish Civil War. And what the Fifth Column means is it's a group of people that are infiltrating and trying to subvert a nation, usually at the behest of someone that hates that nation or hates that group. So a Fifth Column, and you guys can look it up, what Fifth Column means. The Fifth Columnist is a person who's subverting the nation. That's why I say he's laughing at us, because it's right in his bloody title. He's telling you, I am Beau of the Fifth Column. There it is. All right. I'm sorry I'm out of breath. I want to get through that as quickly
you're
as
fine.
possible.
You're fine.
And I'll bounce right now and break open that wine.
Yeah, I appreciate you, sir. I'm reading that right now on Wikipedia. I'm going to bring it up. See what the Fifth Column is.
Oh, what the Fifth Column is? Yeah. One thing, I don't want to give this guy any more credit, and I really don't want to listen to his bullshit anymore. But if anybody wants,
go ahead.
I don't want to listen to Beau the Fifth Column's bullshit. I don't want to listen to it because I saw some of his stuff before and thought this guy's a bloody moron. Right? But if any of the rebels here want to do the same methodology that I did, just to take a couple of key phrases from his videos, I think if you just put it into Google, just like I did, you'll find out it's CNN, or you'll find out it's a left-wing outfit.
So they're pushing him. So he's supposedly a Southern boy, but he's been pushed by the mainstream media and the big tech people.
I know you're a Southern boy too, and I think if you look at him, you'll understand exactly what it is. He's trying to appeal to our side.
Yeah.
Oh shucks, I'm just this Southern boy, this Southern journalist looking for freedom of speech and common sense. But he's just parroting CNN. And like I say, if anybody wants to go in there and do what I did, just plug in some of the key phrases from his videos, you'll see. It's that simple. This guy is a shill. To have as many subscriptions as Salty Cracker, I don't think it's possible because nobody's listening to what he's doing. If you look at his counts, nobody's listening.
Does he do live shows like we're doing now, or he does just regular videos?
No, he does live too. I didn't even look at them because I just didn't want to. my suspicion is that if you look at how many, I think Salty brings in, almost 30,000 on a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even look at that because, like I say, I think he's a shill. But if any of the rebels want to look at that, I'd be interested in finding out if you want to do research. But it took me about half an hour to do this research. So.
Yeah, it's
All
definitely.
right,
I definitely appreciate the
ahead.
tip. We're going to do some investigation on this fool and find out if he's legit or not. But for basically
Yeah,
what you're telling me,
yeah.
I'm reading the column right here. I'm going to go ahead and read it out, and I'm going to let you go, Gordius. I definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, no problem. Hey, Devin, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, she was happy that we're covering this right now. I'm going to get on this article. Thank you, Gordius, for your call. I appreciate you. You call anytime, sir.
All right, bro. Bye.
See ya. Yeah, so it says the fifth column is any group of people who undermine a large group or nation from within, usually in favor of an enemy group or another nation, according to Harris Minolas and Scott Radnitz. Fifth columns are domestic actors who work to undermine the national interest in cooperation with external rivals of the state. The activities of fifth column can be overt or clandestine. Forces gathered in secret to mobilize openly to assist the external attack. This term is also extended to organized. This is another problem too. Organized with a S. It was not organized with a Z. Actions by military personnel. Clandestine fifth column activities can involve acts as sabotage, disinformation, espionage, and or terrorism executed within defense lines by secret sympathizers with an external force. I smell shit. How'd you come across that guy, Devin? What? 413, what's up?
Rebel, it is Anthony McQuaid.
Anthony, how you doing, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing good, man. I appreciate you being the best moderator out there.
Well, I appreciate the comments and stuff like that, especially from Zatoichi when he said he leans on me a lot. Oh, please, hey, that's what I'm there for. That's why I usually, when I'm modding, I sit back and I don't really say anything unless somebody says hello or they ask me a direct question. But you said something about your phones and tracking.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, have you ever received in your emails a Google map that tracks you for the month? They show you where you've been in that month?
No, I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Well, I get one every month, and I just delete it because I don't care.
That's
sometimes I leave my phone at home.
I wonder who else gets that email at the same time.
Well, I don't know. I would check it. Just check if you do. But yeah, they do keep track of where you're going. And the thing about the cameras and the microphone being on, what I do when I'm not using my phone is I put my phone on a sound machine with a box that covers the sound machine and my phone perfectly. So they see darkness and hear a sound machine for as long as I have my phone there.
That's a good idea.
Before you were able to take the batteries out of these phones. Now you can't do that.
Nope.
They have the batteries attached in such a way where you can't remove them. So that's how they're making their phones from now on. And I did get your email on your, to call in, but I haven't been able to use it yet. I'm not sure how. And with that said, did you know that Biden's Corvette has a double standard transmission?
No, I'm aware of it now, though.
Okay, I'm glad that happened. Something else I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it was because my long-term memory got in the way of my short-term memory. Let me see. Somebody said something. Oh, you asked me about the link to the Mike Lindell thing. All you have to do is look up Jimmy Kimmel, Mike Lindell, Claw and Order. Claw with a C, and like for me, I think that if Jimmy Kimmel wasn't the jerk he is, that this is how stuff should be. I laughed I was going to say ass, but I'm going to say butt because I don't want to curse. It's too late now. But yeah, if you look that up and watch it, I think everyone should watch it because it's a great interview. There is laughter beyond laughter. And I watched it twice just to make sure that, it wasn't, he wasn't being set up. And there was a condition on the interview, and Mike Lindell went along with the condition, and it is hilarious.
I see it there. He's in a claw machine.
Absolutely.
Was that the?
You should show that. You should show that video. You won't be zapped for it because it's Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. Now sit back and relax. Just sit back, watch it, and relax. And I will call. I don't want to take up any more of your time. So just sit back, relax, watch this, and I will talk to you later, my friend.
I appreciate you, sir. Thanks for the call.
You're very welcome. Good night, everyone.
See ya. Shout out to Anthony McQuaid, one of the best moderators on the internets out there. So I was going to ask, was this the stipulation that they had to put him in a claw machine and he totally agreed to it? I would almost agree to that too, just because of the comedy factor right there. Because they're going to do whatever they want to make you look stupid. You guys want to watch this thing? We'll watch this whole thing here. Oh,
debilitating fear of machines. We have installed him inside a claw machine for his interview tonight. And joining us now from the corner.
Dude, probably just the fact that they're saying machines on this shit will probably get this channel a strike.
Of Donkey Kong and Q*bert, the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. Hello, Mike.
Jimmy Crumble, is that you?
It's me.
Well, Jimmy Cuomo. He come out swinging at this asshole straight away.
Mike, first question, Mike, is why do you think people don't take you seriously?
Well, I want to tell you this, Jimmy. Remember when we were kids and we questioned these carnival games, whether they were rigged or not?
Yeah, right.
But when we spoke up back then, we didn't get sued, did we?
No, that's right. Hey, Mike, get rid of that kid. Will you give him a toy or something like that?
There you go. You got a winner. It's a rigged game. It's a rigged game. It's a rigged game.
See, saying those two words, the M word and the R word, that'll get you in trouble right there.
Mike, I know that you're distrustful of machines. Now that you're inside one, do you feel differently?
No, same thing. Their computers can be rigged out there. Yeah, absolutely. In elections, you know that.
Oh, shit. That right there is... Oh, my God, dude. I'm telling you right now, this something you can't even talk about. I already gotten in trouble one time for it.
Ask Donald Trump whether you should do this or not. Do you run this sort of thing by him?
No, I didn't, Jimmy. I did this all on my own. I wanted to be on your show. You kept telling me to come on, but I seen the monologue there. You said it's because to put me in here because I wasn't vaccinated. You tricked.
Oh, here we go. Are you trying to get my channel taken down? Oh my God.
You did it to be funny, huh?
Let's go over to Rumble. Let's go over to Rumble. Yeah, we might have to do that. We might have to end this stream on YouTube and everybody jump over to Rumble to continue playing this thing because I might get in trouble.
Think you can win? Do you think?
So he got him in the machine the whole time. He's doing his spiel. I think it's funny as hell, but he's already said several things that's going to get you in trouble. You can't say those three phrases in the same sentence together. Selections of certain things. How you got rigging on your helicopters, and you use machines to vacuum the floor. You can't even talk about those three things in the same sentence. But I do appreciate that link, and we can address that later on the Rumble channel. But as far as over here on YouTube's, we'll get back to it later. Yes, sir. We're going to move on to the next subject. I do appreciate it, though. I always love comedy on the show. It's always fun. And whoever the callers were earlier, make sure you call back. I didn't want to leave everybody hanging, so if you want to be heard, you know that number, call it up. We're going to keep continuing on here. Using that dang old machine to vacuum. Yep. It's fine if you're using the vacuum, but you can't talk about them doing any other things. This is talking about the transmission on your car. What's the rush to reassign it? Hey, hey.
Hey.
What's going on, Devin? How are you?
Good. Okay, there's that.
There you go. Hey, hey.
Yeah, I can't see you, but that's okay.
You can't see
I
me.
mean, every Tuesday and Thursday.
What's on your mind tonight?
So, I just wanted to call in and personally thank the callers. Specifically, I called in to thank Gardius for the work that he did. When I'm afraid of something, I can't even pick it up, and so I couldn't even lift a finger to try and refute the claims that individual was making, that Beau of the Fifth Column. So specifically Gardius, but also I wanted to thank my Bal Alien and Anthony McQuaid. Wow. So that's really all I called in for. I appreciate you, and of course you, Rebel. I appreciate y'all very much.
Absolutely, we appreciate you. I'm going to do some research on this guy as well, because I don't want to have some impersonators out here talking some mess. And if he's trying to portray himself as one way or another, it's going to come out eventually. You know what I mean?
You are going to be shocked when you see. I mean, I felt okay to click on the video when I saw he didn't have pink hair and he looked like a good old boy. No offense.
One of the Duck Dynasties, from what you said, right?
He looks like he belongs on Duck Dynasty, and and he's just, and you think, okay, well, this will be okay, and then he goes and he said it. I know. I ran across this video because I was trying to research who shot the substations in Moore County, North Carolina, that left, people without power for 3 days and potentially killed some people because they had machines that they were on that kept them alive.
Oh.
And he said, I already know. I'm sure I already know who is behind this. And I'm waiting for him to say, leftists, Antifa. I'm waiting for him to say something like that. He's like, it's those right-wingers, those terrorists, those white supremacist terrorists. And I was like, I think I'm in the wrong room. So
how did you even come across that?
Well, because I searched Moore County NC substation shooting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and because I wanted to know, because you know what they blamed it on? That in Southern Pines, North Carolina, there was going to be some drag show or something, and that the substations were shot at the time that the drag show was supposed to take place so that they couldn't have the drag show. Well, the drag show went on. I mean, they figured it out. It was at a bar. It was at night. I don't know about if there were going to be kids there or whatever. I mean, that would be the main problem. But the people, the drag people, were all like, "Oh yeah, we sure showed them," and everybody lit up the room with their phones, and it was so magical, and da da da. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, whatever, that's cool. Go, drag your heart out." But before I do it for you,
that is a funny. Drag your heart out. That is a funny ass shirt. There's gonna be a shirt right there.
I'd buy that.
Drag your heart out. That's funny.
It's the kid part that's really, and I don't know how prevalent it really is to have kids at drag shows, but I mean, I've seen enough pictures and video to know that it happens. It does happen, even if it's like a handful of things, and it's got to be stopped.
Well, one is one too many, in my opinion. They should have their liquor license revoked. They're serving alcohol at where these children are hanging out. Totally inappropriate. Yeah. They're breaking their statutes of the law left and right, and they're not being prosecuted. I don't know why, but you saw Trump's video. He's going to come out swinging on these fools straight away and letting them all know, everybody from top to bottom that's involved in this mess, you're going to get it handed to you.
Yeah, thanks, Bud, for showing that to me again, or showing me when I finally made it in.
Yeah, no problem. I thought it was awesome. When I saw it, I said, Sonia, you need to see this. I actually played it on her show. I got her to play it on her show yesterday, but all you guys weren't in there, so I wanted to make sure you guys saw it here today. And I'll probably watch it again when we're done here, because I thought it was so damn base that he's speaking the truth. This is what we want to hear. We want to hear him say, look, it was a mistake with the V. We did our best. You know what I mean? Either he was lied to or whatever. We're moving forward with it now. We're stopping all those mandates. We're stopping all that shit. We're putting everything right back to the way it's supposed to be. And now we're going to go forward.
Yeah, there's just something to be said for a man,
Yes,
in leadership.
Yes, ma'am. I agree. That's what we need in this country, is some leadership. It's lacking on all levels, from the home to business to the country itself.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole drag show thing, that narrative that it had to do, that the shooting, the power being out for 3 days, that the narrative that it was about the drag show was so prevalent that, like, the following weekend I went and I took a doctor's deposition, and this particular doctor who was deposed, he was an ear, nose, and throat surgeon and whatever, but I always ask all my deponents, because I'm a notary, if they want to swear on the Bible or affirm on their honor. And, like the good Christian I am, I judge every single one of them based on their answer.
What's their answer majority of the time? I know it varies case to case, but if you would have to say
Majority of the time they say either is fine or I'll swear. And a lot of them, I'm like, you might be one of those lukewarm people like I used to be, but I respect that you choose, that you don't have to show that you're an atheist. Right. And this guy was like, this doctor, he was like, I'll affirm. And I'm thinking to myself, and you're a doctor? Well, okay, like the good Christian I am. You're a doctor and you don't, you believe that science wasn't, okay, I better not go into that.
Yeah.
No more Jesus for everybody. But yeah. So he, after the deposition, he's like, "Did you hear about that power outage in Monroe County? All over a dance party," he says. And I'm like, if the narrative, I mean, they really pushed that so that everybody thinks that it has to do with that dumb drag show. And, you know, are there drag shows in Seattle where the substations were shot? Well, okay, that's a bad that's a bad analogy. But you know, there have been these substation shootings all across the country, and I don't think that they all have to do with some woke idiots' woke principles. So you know, well, okay, they have to do with woke people and woke principles, maybe, but not in the way that people are saying.
Right. Their motivation is different from what they portray.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's how I ran across Beau of the Fifth Column. And when I saw how many followers he had, and I looked at some of the comments, and I was just like, I'm thinking to myself, who in their left mind would watch a guy that looks like this? And I thought, well, you know, like Guardia said, he's made to look like one of us so that he could convert one of us or a group of us to, you know, so he could subvert, you know, you know, he's a ringer.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm sure they're everywhere, though. It's really not surprising to me, but I'll check that shit out for sure, and I'll be able to smell BS when I see it.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I was so afraid. I mean, I know that Trump has his faults. I know that. I mean, there were things that I did not like, and it wasn't mean tweets. You know, it had more to do. At one point, he did an airstrike on Syria, and there was a guy that I was following out of Syria. His name is Treka Zin. I don't know. I'm sure Zin is his last name. I just don't know how to pronounce it. And this guy, he's so funny, and he's so adorable, and he is always talking about, you know, other countries' foreign policy and how, you know, Syria can't climb out of. I mean, Syria's got, you know, a lot of Christian people, as well as Muslim, maybe Jewish, but they have these huge Christian holidays, and it's a dangerous place to live, but it's not maybe the enemy that we've been told. Maybe. I don't know. But, you know, of course, John McCain didn't think they were an enemy because he went over and met with ISIS and stuff. And he was like, you know, giving the thumbs up and all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when Trump put an airstrike on Syria, I was like, don't you know that what we've been seeing out of there is a lot of crisis actors, and, you know, it's just a bunch of BS to get you, Trump, to do this airstrike. It really upset me, and I went to work that day. I was working for Russian Eye Doctor, and I went into him and I said, I don't know if I could vote for him again. And he was like, oh, wait, you know, even though he wasn't totally for Trump, he was like, don't judge him by one thing, you know, and hear him out. Like, okay, well, I don't know what his reasoning was for that, but, you know, I also don't know a lot of things. So, you know, could be something I wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I think a part of some of this news strategy is keeping everybody confused where you really don't know where you stand one way or the other on a lot of these issues. So that it's going pretty much according to their plan. But we're not going to let them get away with this crap. I think we're all smart enough to see through their BS. And the normies are never going to be on our side anyway. If they believe the stuff they see on TV, they're almost a lost cause, in my opinion. But when they see results start happening here soon, maybe they'll jump on our side. I don't know.
Well, it worked for some people in the 4 years that Trump was president.
Yeah, it definitely woke a lot of people up that what they were doing on that other side and the games they played with the media when he called them fake news and all that shit. I was rolling the whole time when he'd come out there and go, "Yep, let me go out here and talk to this fake news right quick." He'd walk right up to him and ask any question you want to. You're fake. You're fake. You're ragged too. And then he would say, he would say at the rallies, like, "Turn these cameras around. You see all these fools right here in the back? They're all a bunch of bees right here. A bunch of sellouts. They're all bought and sold. They're all raggedy." And then they'd go back and write an article about how Trump told them how raggedy they were. Getting in their own feelings.
And they cried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Truth hurts sometimes, so deal with it.
All my life I was told, you're too sensitive. And, frankly, I am. And, I kind of want to go back to my older sister who seems to have taken an interest in politics since Roe fell. I want to go back to her and say, you remember all those times you told me that I was too soft? Like, what do you say to all these soft asses who are, that our country is filled with? Like, I've made myself hard to be a better person. I made myself as hard as possible to be a better person and to not be too soft. And now all these assholes get away with being little whiny babies. Like, that's not fair. Like I worked at this.
Well, what I think is so funny is that they have the balls, no pun intended, of course, to drop Satchel on a ping pong table in front of children, but they're so damn sensitive that they can't take a joke of us making fun of it or calling them out on how absurd it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to come out and be unkind to any one of them. I don't know if I were actually faced with the situation of being in front of one of them. I don't know how my mouth might take over before my brain does. But, from time to time, especially when I had a little bit less maturity, I might go after somebody whose actions I didn't like in high school. And the person I became, I didn't like. And that's kind of what I see is going on with other people. And I read a quote. Here, let me see if I can find the quote. There's this chick. Can you still? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's still on the phone.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, cool. There's I follow Dr. Mercola, Dr. Joseph. Oh, that's Peter. Another. Get you banned. And on Telegram.
Yeah.
Come on. Can't I hit that? Ugh. Apparently I can't open anything while I'm on the phone with you.
Oh, okay.
It was something to the effect of, we might become what we don't like. Am I still on the phone?
Yeah, you're sideways though now, but the way your camera is.
I can't even find the app.
That's all right. You can email it to me if you got a particular story or a video that you want to show me. You can send it to my email.
Yeah, I'll email you the quote because all of his stuff purges.
Oh, yeah, okay.
His articles purge. He's got a Substack that he can keep it on, but I have the quote from her. Tessa Lena wrote an article and he shared it, and the quote was really good. Anyway, we don't want to become what we hate.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that too goes along with. I try not to show a lot of that stuff on my channel because I don't want to perpetuate that nasty shit, you know. So I don't want to be part of it, you know what I mean? And I see a lot of people that post and say, you know, we hate what they're doing. Why are we posting all this stuff for everybody to see it? You know what I mean? And we need to get the word out there. I think the word's already out there. Now we need to do something about it.
Yeah. Yep. I feel you.
Well, I definitely appreciate you. I'll give you the last word. I definitely appreciate you calling in.
Oh, no words. Just a big, huge thank you. The things I heard tonight have been an eye opener, so I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling in and being part of the rebellion.
Thanks. Well, you better hang up because I can't find the app.
All right. We'll holler at you later.
All right. See ya.
Shout out to Devin. She's always awesome. Shout out to my rebels. I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank you to my rebels. Best damn audience on the internet. We're going to go for just a little bit longer here. Not too much longer. I don't want to keep you guys up all night. If you want to call in, there's the number right there. Anthony McQuaid, I don't know if your police officer friend still wanted to call in, if it was too late for him or not, or if you couldn't be reached. But if he doesn't make it in tonight, the number's always there if you guys want to ever call. The email is always open if you guys ever want to get in touch with me. I'm just a click away. Thank you to my moderators. Cat F, Anthony McQuaid, Sonia Scrapbook, and Zato Watchies, Cane Sword. Shout out to my man Guardius and Alien Spaceship for calling in tonight, and also Devin. You guys what make the world go round. I definitely appreciate y'all. We might jump over to Rumble for a few minutes and play that Mike Lindell video and do some other fun stuff and a little after party over there if you guys want to jump. He's working right now, but you'll tell him. Okay, I appreciate that. No pressure, you know what I mean? I know he's probably going through a tough time right now in his life, and we all want to try to be supportive, so I would encourage you to follow up and get him to follow up on that Florida opportunity that Sonia was giving you yesterday about the police hiring down there. So maybe he can have a better opportunity, because everything happens for a reason, in my opinion. There's a reason why you guys are here. There's a reason why you found this channel. There's a reason why we all hang out together. I can't explain it right now, but everything happens for a reason. Maybe it was meant to be. Guardy said, see you all over there. The Rumble stream is up right now for this particular stream. I will end this one here shortly and fire up a new stream at the after party over there. We're going to probably play some music and play some fun videos. All the fun stuff that we can't do on the JTubes. On the JTubes. Let me read your comment. I missed it. It's unfortunate. So many sheeple see Trump as bad. The media caused that. Yep. I mean, I'm all about holding people accountable. Like I talked about before, there's no reservations how I feel about Trump, about that Snowden and Julian Assange fiasco. He pardoned some of these other fools that I think are not necessary, but hey, he's got his own reasons, and maybe I just don't understand them. But if he would stop pushing that V and continue with the message that he had on that last video that I played for you guys, he's going to be all right. (971) Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what's up? It's Zadoichi's
Zadoichi.
or just Fraser.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, hey man, before you go, I was gonna see, because we're running out of topics, but I was gonna see if, because I want to see this stuff. There's rumors about like Ron DeSantis and stuff and his involvement in Guantanamo Bay when they had that hunger strike going on, and then they started force feeding these mugs. But I was gonna see if maybe we could take a dive into that before you kick off.
Guantanamo.
Yeah.
DeSantis. Let me figure that out right quick. Give me a little synopsis, if you would,
maybe
while I'm looking for it.
Well, they was having hunger strikes where the prisoners didn't want to eat because they weren't serving them halal food, or you know what I mean. And it was like, we ain't eating stuff, and then they started like force feeding them. And rumor has it, our boy DeSantis was there, and he was like, all right. Yeah. Everybody talk about he doesn't have baggage, but it's like, they're going to come up with something.
Let's check it out right now. This is the Real News Network. Says Governor Ron DeSantis oversaw torture in Guantanamo as a military lawyer. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, he was a JAG. He was JAG then.
Yeah, so let's read the article. Florida Ron DeSantis' political star is on the rise, with many commentators identifying him as heir apparent to a post-Trump GOP. I know they're pushing
There's his
him.
baggage.
Yeah, for
There's
someone
his baggage. Everybody's like, he has no baggage. And it's like, oh, there it is.
Well, I mean, did they not know this before he was governor, or?
Oh, they know when to speak up or when to not.
Well, they talk about background checks on folks to make sure they're secure and procuring certain things. I mean, if they're going to run the country, don't you think they run a background check on these people?
That's how they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
Yeah. You know what assume means?
Let's see.
They got ass out of you and ass out of me.
Yeah, that's what they say when you assume things. It says they're exposing some of the truly jaw-dropping and never-before-heard details that come through in the interview portion. Says Mansour was imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay for over 14 years without charges as an enemy combatant. Now Mike interviewed Mansour for this episode. What about to play, and they show a little clip there, I guess.
Oh.
They don't have a video. I guess they have the text excerpts from it there. He says, we were beaten
all day long. All day.
All day, every damn day. There's a team, whatever you do, they just beat you. Pepper spray, beating, sleep deprivation. That continued for 3 months, and he was there.
And we used to hear murmurs about this kind of stuff coming out.
Yeah, what I'd heard about it, obviously, was how everybody, it was a bunch of QAnon mess where supposedly anytime you saw somebody come out with a cooties diagnosis, that they had been brought forth on a military tribunal and executed or some craziness. It was just totally off the wall and crazy. Yeah, and then every time Kamala would come out, she got it twice. I'm like, okay, so then she got convicted and beheaded twice. Yeah, that's what it was. And then, so a lot of Guantanamo stuff, they were saying it all was happening in Guantanamo.
Hey, what if it's a, deflection?
Oh,
but I remember hearing about these mugs going on hunger strike, and then, I do remember murmurs of they was force feeding them, and, here's DeSantis' baggage right here. He doesn't have any baggage. Well, here it is. And what else? Watch, you're going to have some women come out and be like, oh, he touched me or something. It's going to happen.
Yeah, they always come out of the woodwork every time. If you're a successful person, they're always going to come out and try to throw some dirt.
Every time, bro.
Every time.
Every time.
And I'm going to look into this article, too, and find out. I mean, it's a small news station, but, the mainstream don't push anything anyway. So if there was anything damning, don't you think they would push it further? Push it harder, or
they're holding it back, I think, until
Really?
it's time to unleash it. Maybe Kafka-esque and creepy. Yay. All right, dude. But yeah, That's all I want to say. But yeah, man, hey, it's good to talk to you. And yeah, this is my dumb voice. All right, you guys.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Have a good night, sir.
All right, night.
Shout out to Zato Wachi for calling in. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm going to look into that. I just tweeted that article out there. But yeah, they're not squeaky clean. They try to make them seem like they're all squeaky clean, but here's an audio clip of it. Let's play it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Real News Network podcast. My name is Maximilian, out years without charges as an enemy combatant. Now, Mike interviewed Mansour for this episode, and we're about to play a clip from that episode so that you can just get a little bit of a taste of the shocking revelations that are peppered throughout.
You know, we were beating all day long, all day. There's a team. Whatever you do, they just beat you. Pepper spray, beat.
Zato Wachi, did you listen to this before, or were you just psychic with the accent of this man? You got it nailed down.
Beating, sleep deprivation, that continued for 3 months. And he was there because at the beginning, he told us that he was there to ensure we are treated humanely. And if we have concern or issues, he will take it. But he's one of the people who actually supervised the torture, the abuse, the beating all the time at Guantanamo.
So Ron DeSantis, he wasn't just there as like a lawyer that you could go to. He was actually supervising torture, beatings, and he was supervising these force feedings of you and others.
Ron DeSantis was there all the time because his job to walk around and talk to prisoners in the camp. That was.
How did this dude get out of jail if he's being held in Guantanamo Bay and beaten and starved every day or whatever they're trying to say that they're doing to him? How did he get out of there?
Yeah, because the report, like, I'm here to ensure you're being treated humanely. I'm like, I'm telling Americans, if this is humanity, this guy is torture, is a criminal.
Now,
interesting. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up on that note. They all got some kind of snakes in their closet, skeletons in their closet, whatever the terminology you might want to use. Guardia says Ron DeSantis is a very, very bad man. He's been doing good for Florida, so I don't know where the heat's coming from for him all of a sudden. I guess it's because he's going to possibly be Trump's enemy or something. I don't know as far as his opponent, I guess, but he's doing a good job in Florida. Let him stay down there in Florida. One thing that did piss me off, though, was when Joe Biden came down there and when they had those hurricanes and DeSantis had to sit on stage or stand right next to him and kind of just keep his mouth shut and not tell him how ragged he was. I'd have used that opportunity to tell him how ragged he was. Like, do you see this shit right here? That's my 20-minute timer. We're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on tonight's stream. I definitely appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you to my rebels so very much, guys. We're going to get there. Stay positive. Thank you to my moderators. And if you guys want to follow me over on Rumble, it's not going to be the stream that's happening right now. I'm going to take a quick break, and we will come back in about 30 minutes, and we're going to have a little after party over there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to hit these comments before we leave. I got to those. Thank you guys so much for showing up in here tonight and hanging with me for this long stream. Great time with the fellow rebels. Yes, sir, Zoot. I appreciate y'all for being here.
Whee!
Going to Rumble in a few. Yes, sir. Give me about 30 minutes and we'll be there probably around 11, a little after 11 maybe. We'll get over there and have a fun little party. But until then, make sure you guys hit that Rumble store. I'm sorry, hit the Rebel Without a Reason store. I'll show you one right quick too. I'm gonna make some new shirts for you guys. But there is one here that I didn't get to show yesterday. It was this Love It or Leave It shirt from the store there. You can get that in all kinds of different colors. Because if you don't love it, you can get the crap out of here. I like that blue one. That's nice. But you can get those all in different colors. They're only $19, guys. I'm not trying to rob the bank or nothing for giving you guys fun merch to have and wear or whatever. It's a super small donation to the channel, and you will get something for your money. It's not just throwing money into the ether. And you can show your support for some of the other shirts that we got on here. We got the Heather shirt. You believe this shirt? The lied suddenly without the logo, but if you really want to get them upset, you can wear that Pfizer lied suddenly on there. Or you can just be a rebel without a reason. It don't matter. Do whatever you want to. I definitely appreciate y'all. Yeah, we're going to the Rumble Party. See you guys in about maybe 20 minutes or so. It's 10:41. I'm going to try to be there about 11, but if I'm a tad bit late, hang out. I will be there shortly. Until then, I will see you guys later. Peace out.